Are you ready? No, I know you're not ready, but I also know you want it. Therefore, greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back. Pull up a chair. It's time to get down to the business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, digging our way out of the worst winter storm that has ever hit the state of Louisiana or the southern United States. But we have survived and persevered, and we are back at you one more again, bringing to you the program that laid the foundation upon which all of your red pill, high value, alpha male, wannabe posers, frauds, and ripoffs stole everything that they got the game from. Listen tonight to what they'll all be saying next week or the week after, because they quote me, I will never quote them. It's time to get down to the business. Now, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by, the elements. Oh yes, where was I? I think I was right about here. This is where I was. So I'm sitting around and I'm minding my own business and I'm prepping for things and doing what I do, and lo and be damn hold, I see yet another successful black male who has done supposedly all the right things, and once again his woman is out there messing it up for him. Once again his woman is out here trying to take advantage of the situation. I just have to be honest about it. Out here taking advantage of it, making them look bad, but my thoughts are not on the women. My thoughts are on the guys. These fellas have enabled this. I need all of you to share this program tonight. Damn alike. Damn alike. You know we're being shadow banned by the hoodlums at YouTube, so do your job here. Share tonight's program. I know we got postponed. We already know that. But we're here to bring you the business. So make sure you share tonight's program here. That's very, very important. That's how we're going to deal with the shadow banning that they do for us. So I'm sitting here watching what is supposed to be yet another successful black male, and he has allowed his woman to go out, and instead of representing him well, she's representing him hell. And this is the unavoidable result. Now, when I first called this way back last year, actually I called it before then, when I first said, I'm starting to get the rumblings that things ain't going well, they're not going right, it's going downhill here. You know, there were some people who wanted to argue with me, and they wanted to say, oh man, it ain't that bad. Can't his wife wear a bikini? And I'm like, this has nothing to do with wearing a bikini. This has to do with personality. This has to do with the fact that originally she presents herself one way. That was back when she was chunky and chubby. And you gotta watch out for these chicks who used to be chubby, because they might have lost the weight. They may have lost the weight, but they haven't lost any of the internal personal issues that they had that caused them to put on the weight in the first place. Do not deceive yourself into believing that just because a chick is chunky and physically undesirable, or not as desirable as other women, that she's not arrogant and narcissistic. As a matter of fact, in our society today, some of the most arrogant and narcissistic females that you are going to find are the overweight ones. The fat ones today, in this society, they tend to be the most narcissistic ones. And the more you feed their bloated egos, the worse it gets. So in her case, she was showing that she desired to be, but she didn't act on it because, well, there wasn't anybody really offering anything for it. Let's just be very, very clear about this. Who in 2015, where was the peak value man? Who was the producer back in 2015 who was trying to get Ayesha Curry unclothed? Who was it? Back in 2015, who was really jockeying for that position? So she's offering to cover up something that nobody is demanding should be uncovered here. Oh, folks, I gotta tell you, I had a couple of days to sit back and prepare. You have been forewarned. I didn't bring the heat. I brought the 50,000-pound flamethrower. And I'm not sparing horse on it. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program also as well. My man She Ezekiel, Shin Terrell, Kevin Creed, and everybody on Cash App and Super Chat. Thank you very much for that as well. Consider using Cash App instead. Remember, YouTube keeps 1/3 of everything that you contribute on Super Chat. So, Shin, thank you very much for the $50. You just gave YouTube like 12, so consider an alternative. Who in the world was fighting to see Ayesha Curry without her clothes on in 2015, 2016? And that should have been the thing right there. Now, we all knew the dam broke when she went on Red Table Talk. And by the way, Red Table Talk is where the wannabe bougie thoughts gather. Oh, I said it. That's where these chicks go in order to confess what it is they really want to do. Because they know they've got a welcoming environment. They know when they're in front of Jada, they're with somebody who is on the same wavelength. So they've got no idea going there and talking about that because they're among kindred souls. So it shouldn't be any surprise that when they make their way to the red table, that they go up there and all of a sudden, everybody who goes to that red table come back talking the same. Isn't it amazing? Isn't that interesting? So she went there with a bunch of women who encouraged her and let her know, oh, don't worry, you can be who you're gonna be. And that's exactly what she did. She let them know, in reality, since my husband ain't here and I'm among fellow kindred souls, let me tell you all what I really think and what I really want to do. And in reality, my husband gets a lot of raw sexual attention from females. And I never really had that. I was just this chunky Christian gal raised in this, quote, Christian home. So you see, I never really got to get any of that raw sexual attention. I had to eschew that. I couldn't go through my hoe phase. I couldn't just sit up here and go on sexual adventures and whatnot and use my vagina for an amusement park ride. I couldn't do any of that. I had to actually have, restraint and discipline. Something that would make me actually desired by a man to provide and protect. But in the modern age, I'll make my own money. Let me go and see if I can have some sexual adventures. That's what I'm trying to do. 6 flags over my drawers. That's what I'm trying to do. And so Ayesha never got to experience any of that. And now she's letting you know she used to just be signaling it. She's gone well beyond signaling now. She's just outright letting you know, hey, this what it's gonna be. So slowly but surely, she's been making her way. Now, if you will take a look in picture number 1, as you can see on the screen there, I spot 2 tattoos, and that's your first sign. 3 tattoos. These Christian gals, these alleged Christian gals, these so-called Christian and Catholic, you gotta watch out for these chicks. Told you that they were raised in these Christian fundamentalist homes and whatnot. Couldn't help but notice she's got 2 tattoos on her right arm and one right there. Well, her bikini's kind of hiding it, kinda. But what you cannot hide is what must have happened in order to put that tattoo there. That looks like one to me. I'm not going to zoom in. Don't want to get flagged, but by the way, I just thought I would point out, I see some tattoos that if you ain't sleeping with the tattoo artist, how the hell did he get access down there? I'm just questioning. I'm just wondering. And you're going to have folk try to tell you that this is okay. You're going to have people try to tell you, oh, well, you know, can't she just wear a bikini in peace? And those are dumb people, because these are folks who are always being caught unaware. They're always being caught by surprise, because there are clear and obvious signs that the situation has changed. The environment has changed. And they are just completely disregarding warning signs. That when she came out, like when she went to that red table, that was warning sign number 1. That your woman isn't sincere and she isn't genuine. That she was a fat girl who saw other chicks that she considered to be fly. Now she wants hoe attention. She wants to know what it was like. What did she miss? Not exploring the hoe life. That's what Aisha wants to know. Aisha feels like because she was not really fly and desirable, she was light-skinned with long hair, but wasn't nobody really checking for the little chunky chick. So she's always wondered, what did I miss over there? What did I not get over there? What type of raw mandingo energy? What did I get? I want to be on that pedestal where people are just looking at me and praising me. I want to know, what did I miss? And she's letting you know she has not let that go. That's a problem. I didn't say it because it sounded cute. I said it because it's true. That's a problem. This is a phase and a part of life that your woman was supposed to have graduated out of and exited out of. And she's letting you know she is firmly holding on to it. She is not letting it go. She's not letting it go. It doesn't matter about the caliber and status of her husband. It doesn't matter that she is a wife, and it doesn't matter to her even that she is a mother. That doesn't matter. She was pretending to be okay with all those things. Let's just be very, very clear about it. You gotta watch out for these signs of disrespect when she shows that she is clearly not grateful for the fact that you took her out of them streets, that she's not one of those chicks who is unclaimed. She's not grateful. She was never grateful. She's not grateful now. She played the role for a little bit, but the signs of contempt were always there. But I gotta tell you, I would be remiss, I would be less than honest if I didn't tell you that I gotta lay the blame for a lot of this at the feet of Stephen Curry himself. I gotta lay it at his feet. I can't lie. I told you all before that this was really his fault. In a lot of ways, this was really his fault because he started out the right way. He started out by seeing himself as a star and that she was lucky to be with him. But eventually, he let temptation get the better of him. He let complacency get the better of him. And rather than maintaining the situation as it was, he started trying to boost her self-esteem, started trying to boost her ego, and started trying to convince her that she was his equal. And this on your screen is the result of attempting to convince her that she is your equal. Mic drop. This is the inevitable result of attempting to convince her that she is a star, even though she is not. This is the result of not reminding her of the immense, infinite value of the position that she holds. No one would know who she were if she were not married to you, but more importantly than that, she has a man who is going to make sure that she is taken care of for the rest of her life. And the status that she has as your wife is a result of your work, not hers, and she is a beneficiary of that. And rather than seeing herself as the luckiest woman in the world, she now wants to convince you that she can build herself, that she's got value that rivals you. And what I'm saying is that at that point, she is no longer your companion. She is your competitor. She is attempting to compete against you. She's letting you know that Roni Rose situation, that Roni Rose incident, she wishes that she had been the one on the court and that there had been some alpha male in the stands making eyes at her, taking his shirt off for her. She's letting you know she wishes the roles had been reversed and that she had been in your position. The only difference is Stephen Curry acted like he didn't see Roni Rose. And Ayesha, if the roles had been reversed and that had been Ayesha's on the court and the man's in the stands, Ayesha probably would have winked at him and tried to make sure he knew he had gotten her attention. I'm trying to give some life lessons here so that when people ask, Jason, how did you predict this? These were all the warning signs and all the mile markers along the way that this was going in a bad way, that this was becoming a bad situation. And the folks who were telling me last year and the year before that, oh, you saying too much and let them live and living her best life, those are all the clowns and buffoons today that are dead quiet. They won't say a word. They marched Stephen Curry off into this and assured him that the rest of us were just being facetious and the rest of us were just being exaggerating. We didn't know what we were talking about. Now, here you are. Now, here you are. How are you going to put the genie back in the bottle now? How are you going to do that? How are you going to convince her of that? But that's not really the lesson I wanted to teach you here. I wanted to teach you all that there is a cost for ignoring her disrespect, because what these fellas attempted to do is the single most dangerous thing that a man can attempt to do in that situation. They attempted to, of all the ridiculous boneheaded things they could have thought of, they attempted to appease her. Knowing that there were obvious problems, they attempted to appease her. I'm here on her Instagram, and as you can see, by the way, you can see this picture right here first. This one here. So it wasn't something that just snuck up on you. She was letting you know she's been gearing up all this time. She's been getting her courage up all this time. She's been gearing up for this. This is the moment she's been waiting on, that as your wife and the mother of your children, she is behaving as if she is not a wife and certainly not a respectable mother. And the culmination, she started over here, and the culmination is here to let you know this is the real me. Fellas, when a woman bares her fangs, you ignore these signs at your own risk. You ignore these gestures at your own risk. When a woman bares her fangs, you better take that for the serious threat that it is. And you can see all the females who will sit here and enable it. All the other elder thoughts and hoes out there, they'll enable this. They'll feed her ego, but they ain't gonna be there to pay her bills when you leave. Now, some folks got it wrong or acting like it's on his page. It wasn't. However, I'll tell you what the problem is. You saw this picture here. You see this picture here. And then this is what I was looking at. The very next thing that got posted. Well, yeah, this was the first picture they had posted, but when you click the arrow there, This thing keeps messing up when I click on it, by the way. But when you click the arrow, it's supposed to change. It doesn't. They have a mess of pictures for that. Let me go ahead and get that up here. When I go to their page and take a look at that, what it shows you is another picture, and all of a sudden, things are different. All of a sudden, it doesn't look like he's in charge, and it all reminds me of something. It all looks damn familiar. It looks damn familiar. Fellas, you need to pay attention when your female is trying to disrespect you. I want to say something to all the square dudes out there that you have become a reliable, responsible person when your female starts exhibiting reckless behavior. That she's decided she wants to engage in recklessness, physical recklessness, social recklessness, sexual recklessness. See, these are games to her. These are games. Because as I explained to you on the previous broadcast, she knows that if y'all get caught up in some mess, folks will be shooting at you because you're the guy. They're not going to be shooting at her. They're not going to shoot at her. So pay attention. Remember, this is another bougie, upper middle class female. Raised in the Christian church, she is square and cornball as she can be. But take a look at what she is encouraging. She's letting you know that she's bored. She is bored and she wants some sexual adventurism. She's letting you know I'm bored. I'm bored with the situation that I have, and I'm looking for some, quote, excitement. Man, y'all better stop them when they start doing that. You better let them know, hey, I don't do excitement. Not like that. You should be excited to have the life that you've got. You should be excited to have the life that you have. You should be excited for that. You should be thrilled that you have been given that. That's where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be happy and grateful that you're not one of these females sitting out here wishing that you had somebody who could do that. You've actually got it, and she's letting you know, yeah, I'm over it. I'm really over it. I'm bored. And now, by the way, when you take a look at this picture, she is telegraphing the type of dude that that she really wants and she's gonna sneak around on this man with. Can I just be obvious? Can I just be honest about that? That is not Steph Curry right there. That ain't him. That's not him. And here's the problem. The problem is he is attempting to appease her. And every man and every woman knows this doesn't work. You can't appease somebody who is openly suggesting and communicating to you that they want something else. You can't help the situation by appeasing it. This ain't Steph Curry, but she is so obviously letting you know what it is that she is looking for. What it is that she's desiring. This isn't a joke on your screen right here. He might be thinking, oh, well, I mean, it ain't that serious. I can play along. It's kind of like if you got a woman who has an S&M fantasy. Well, yeah, I ain't really into that, but okay, well, get your ass up on this wall and I'll hit you a couple times. Okay. She's letting you know. Would I be out of bounds to let you all know, by the way, shawty want a thug? Oh, would I be wrong for that? Would it be wrong of me to say it sure does look like shawty want a thug? Okay, here's the difference. Yeah, neither one of them may be hood like that. But the real issue is she's going to be able to act on it. That's the problem. She's going to actually be able to actively act on it. That is the difference. That's your wife. That's your woman. And she's going to be able to act on it. I would have told him the most dangerous thing in the world you can do is attempt to ignore this and whatnot. Dude, you don't ignore that. You do not ignore it. When you go to Steph's Instagram, I would have told him, this is not the move. This isn't the way you deal with this. You are not boosting her confidence. You are bloating her ego. She is so obviously attempting to go off on a sexual adventurism, and you are encouraging it. Now, I know in professional sports, sometimes they do things they shouldn't be doing, but dude, this is not the way. I hate it when that thing does that. I would have told him this is not the way to deal with that because you're not actually dealing with it. You are enabling it. You are enabling a monster that you are not going to be able to put back into its cage when you get done. Fellas, you got to understand. Now, the men understand this. Women try to act like they're dumb about it, but women understand this. Don't no man show off his wife. You show off your girlfriend. You show off your side chick. You don't go showing your wife off. You don't sit up here and go and display your wife for the world, because that dilutes her value. It dilutes your woman's value. You see, if you ain't serious about her, then you don't have to sit up here and worry. If you're not that serious about her, then you're kind of like, it doesn't really matter. It's all right. If you're not that serious, but if this is going to be the woman that you are investing in, that's going to be a different problem. If this is the woman that you are investing in, then you're going to have to be cognizant. You don't sit up here and show that off to everybody. You're not going to be able to show that to everyone, because that belongs to you. And because it belongs to you, that is what gives it value. But if it belonged to the streets, and if it has been seen by the streets and everybody has access to it, then by definition, it's not valuable. Where is its value? And what she's letting you know is that she wants to go test her options. And he thinks that he's appeasing her, and we can all see it's very obviously blown up in his face. She's not backing down. She's doubling down. She's getting worse. She's doing it even more. She's doing it even more. And I'm letting you all know that this doesn't go that way. This doesn't go that way. You're not going to be able to ignore this. When you start empowering them to do this, when you start encouraging it, it breeds worse contempt. She's a little bit like, oh, okay, I'm going to start testing my boundaries. See, fellas, it begins with testing of the boundaries. It begins when that happens. When she starts testing the boundaries in little ways, then just understand, if you don't make it very, very clear that this is a firm and hard wall, then she's going to continue doing it. Because understand, a little bit of contempt eventually feeds into a larger bit of contempt. I'm going to say something right now that I want all the men to understand. If there is one thing that I have learned, it is that it is better to be respected than it is to be liked. It is better to be respected than it is to be liked. That's the issue that we have. Too many fellas today, and I know a lot of you raised by your single mamas, they taught you to be popular with women. Damn that. You should be respected. You should be respected. In the chat room, you got to understand, Starving Marvin, that's hoe talk. A man isn't supposed to reference sex as being power with a woman. That's hoe talk. Women reference sex as being power with men. I want to correct the vocabulary. A lot of y'all been hanging out with the manosphere morons, and you talk like those goofy guys over there. You in the grown folks section over here. You're in the area where we actually live by this. So you doing hoe talk. If I was in a room with a bunch of hoes or a bunch of single moms, I would reference sex as a solution to something. That's not the way men think. That's the way hoes think. That's the way hoes talk. Hoes reference sex as being a solution to something. That's hoe talk. In the chat room, Ebony, I'll have you call up when the phone lines open. Do not be eager. I would also advise you to ease back on chatting for a while. Some of you are learning some new things here tonight. What Steph believes he's doing is, well, if I walk with her, this will strengthen our marriage. You can understand that's what he's thinking. If I encourage this, if I let her, I'm letting her know that I'm not insecure. That's what he thinks he's doing. I'm letting her know that I'm not insecure. Fellas, you tell me how that's working out for him. He's letting his wife know he's not insecure. Well, baby, you go right on out there. You explore yourself. Well, don't be afraid to express yourself. You have my support. Dude, you're encouraging her to display and exhibit herself to whom? You're supposed to be the only man who sees her like that. Who else is she trying to get the attention of? Fellas, when she begins displaying disrespect and you start ignoring it, just understand the situation gets worse and it degenerates. And that's where he is right now. That's where he is right now. I called it a while ago. I told everybody what was coming. I said this was not going to be a momentary thing. Take a look at the look in her eyes from picture number 1 to picture number 3. One looks real shy and real awkward. And just 6 months later, you see she got her confidence enough to sit up here and wiggle her bony ass in the kitchen. So much for being the world, so much for her cookbook. And then, a few weeks later, well, what do you know? Letting you know, damn this wife thing, damn this motherhood thing. I'm trying to get a thought life around here, is what I'm trying to do. And there are a number of fellas who, for whatever reason, one or another, they haven't learned the lessons of these things. But they will. Although I'm afraid in some cases they will learn them a little bit too late here. What do you know? Oh boy, one of our favorite whipping dogs is back again. Russell Wilson, the gift that keeps on giving, totally refusing to accept the simple and obvious reality, saying too damn much. Why? He even got on video here. They were playing some game on GQ, and this is the way it went down.
Dang, you got that quick, okay. Where did I play college football at?
You played at 2 colleges, NC State and Wisconsin.
All right, good. Okay, what's my greatest career accomplishment?
Well, I mean, the obvious Super Bowl.
Okay, there we go. What's my biggest fear?
Not being prepared.
Yeah, I probably have one that's bigger than that.
Was it LOSIN?
Yes, losing you.
All right. Yes, that's right. Scratch the record. Now, there are a couple of lessons I want you all to learn from what you just heard. Fellas, there are some lessons I want you to understand. I started the business because I wanted to discuss interpersonal power dynamics. When he asked her, what is my greatest fear? She was thinking like a woman is supposed to think. I want you all to understand. Ciaro ain't the one off code on this. Russell is. When he asked her what his greatest fear is, she responded the way a woman should. She was thinking, well, what should be the thing he should be most afraid of? Not being prepared. What she depends on him for is to be protector and provider. Notice she didn't say anything about football. She didn't really say about sports. She meant your greatest fear is not being prepared. That there is something that's going to happen that you can't handle. And I have married you because you can handle it. I've chosen you as the man who will handle it. And once you demonstrate, so in reality, just understand what she said. She was talking about him. She was talking about him as a man and his position as a man. What was it that he said? He said, oh, no. That's not what I'm afraid of most, because that focuses on me. That's talking about your value in me. No. That's not what I'm most afraid of. Why, I'm most afraid of losing you. Why, I mean, I've got all these Super Bowls and all this money, but baby, it means nothing, not nothing without you. And he really does think that that answer is ingratiating him to her more. Oh, baby, you my life and you my world. She sat there and said your ability to provide, being prepared, your position as a man who is in charge, not being able to do that, as far as she was concerned, that should be his biggest fear. And he's like, oh, no, not me being strong enough to handle anything. That's not, no. That's not the most important thing. You, my wonderful, beautiful lady, you is the most important thing. And this is supposed to gas her head up and convince her that she needs to stay with him because he values her more than she values, well, more than he values himself. Fellas, you don't want to be a selfish ass. That's not the point. But never, ever diminish your value. Because whether your woman has told you this or not, whether your friends have told you this or not, whether your coworkers have told you this or not, whether your business partners have told you this or not, they are depending upon you to maintain your value. They are depending upon you to maintain your status. So they're talking to you with the assumption that you understand that. And when you go immediately to work to diminish that, you are destroying it. You're not going to achieve what you think you're going to achieve. You're actually going to achieve the opposite. Are you all sharing this tonight? You know YouTube is burying us. You know they're shadow banning us. They only want to talk to the moist dudes and the white supremacists. I need you all to share this, so that you actually get reliable facts to deal with here, not folk on the internet guessing their way through life and failing, by the way. Russell is enabling her too. And just understand, you all think about that. Do you think Future would have said that? Oh, hell yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. Do you think Future would have told her that his greatest fear was losing her? If she really wanted a man whose greatest fear was losing her, what in the hell was she doing with Future? A man who made it very clear that the women in his life are utterly interchangeable and disposable. In other words, having you, there's no value to it. Or the value is marginal. And his blatant, shameless attempts to belittle and diminish himself, all this is going to do is breed further contempt. And if you all want to know how I'm able to tell you about these things and predict them and whatnot, you're seeing all the signs, all the little signs and big signs along the way. This is not good. Now that I've explained it to you all like that, look for everybody else to start repeating what I said now and then claim they never heard it from me, by the way, because they thought the opposite. They thought, the rest of those guys, they actually thought that what he did was the right thing. They didn't know it was the wrong thing until just now when you all heard it. Now they know it was the wrong thing. Now they know you shouldn't do this. And now they know why. Now they actually have some idea why you shouldn't be doing this. But enough from me for now. The telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the business, the program that laid the foundation, and all these other knockoffs and ripoffs are trying and failing to emulate what we do here. Sit back, relax, and listen to the source give it to you correctly. By the way, in the chat room, Ebony and anybody else who was instructed to call in, you need to get on the phones or you will find yourself disappearing. That's the way that will work. The telephone number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Get on the line. No, that was not a request. That is an absolute requirement. Yes, you must be there. No, you will not get 3 or 4 tries at it. The mistake that you make in this situation is by believing that somehow, some way, you are going to be able to appease your way to power. But then again, that assumes whether or not you actually even want it. You see, this was what happened, and this what it looked like in Stephen Curry's life when he was running things. When Stephen, this actually lets you see a real-time timeline of the period of time over which his woman has lost respect for him, has lost consideration, has decided that she is now his competitor and not his companion. Is giving you a real-time view of that. Real time. She's letting you know just in the last few years that some of this undercover contempt that she had, it's bubbled its way to the surface, and now she's ready to go even further. We're going to go ahead and get your thoughts on this. The telephone lines are now open. In the chat room here, let us just be very clear about a couple of things. By the way, just understand you won't get 2 or 3 tries at that. Let me get caller from area code 202. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, I was just listening to you and you asked me to call. This is Ebony Grace. Okay,
Ebony, you asked a question and you said something in the chat room and I said, who are you talking to, ma'am?
I just, I like to have a silver lining and a positive outlook on things. I respect what you're saying, and that's the only reason I'm subscribed to you, okay? But you have to look at it another way. Like, she's beautiful. He's handsome as fuck. Why can't he just allow her to do what she wants to do to ramp up whatever he has going on for his brand, and she still be loyal to him?
Okay, how is your woman the mother of your children? Explain this to me, Ebony. And by the way, what city do you live in?
I live in Dallas, but I'm from D.C.
Okay, that explains a lot. And how old are you, Ebony?
I am 30. I'm 38.
Okay, choose a number there. Sounds like you're making it up as you go along. How old are you, Ebony?
I just turned 38 December.
Couldn't remember how old she is? Wow, all right. I'm 38. How many children do you have?
I have 1 son.
And how many husbands do you have?
Zero. I've never gotten there. I don't understand that concept.
So yeah, that's and so that would explain why you think her behavior is okay. And here's the problem. Excuse me. Okay. Here's the problem. The problem is we don't need any more females like Ebony. We need some respectable women. And your whole life philosophy is downright dirty and filthy. We need respectable women who actually are prepared to be wives and build families, not females who are off being sexually reckless and spend the rest of their lives never getting smarter and realizing that nobody can respect you in such a putrid state. That's the problem.
Putrid. I just know a lot of people who
you've
don't
had
feel that way.
Ma'am, a fellow was able to get you pregnant without getting married to you. You do not have a man in your house who is your protector and provider to provide a masculine example to your son. You're a mess. You're everything that's wrong with the society and destroying it. And we don't want to keep perpetuating that. So yes, of course you would think what Aisha's doing now is great because you screwed yourself and misery loves company. What you have not been able to do is get a life for yourself that Aisha would want to have. That's the problem. You want her life, but she doesn't actually want yours.
Oh, I'm not saying that I want her life.
Oh yeah, you do. You would trade. You already gave it away. But her husband is fine as bleep. Yeah, you would be all over that. You would sleep with him tonight. You would sleep with him. You would sleep with him tonight. Married to her, you would sleep with him tonight.
He probably has a lot of security in himself.
This isn't letting your wife sexually exhibit herself is not security. In your mind, you call that security. That's just a way of you attempting to rationalize bad gutter behavior and then call it something other than what it is. She is degenerating, and if she continues, she's going to become, those are not pictures. She's actually naked. That's not a picture. You're not pretending to be.
What do you see?
I see a woman who is showing the world something that only her husband should be seeing. But of course, you're a person who gives out to everybody who wants it, so you don't value it.
Do you think that she would do this without her husband being okay with it?
I know that when you did it, you never got a husband. Now, I do know that.
No, I didn't do this. I'm asking you, do you think that she would have done this without her husband being
I'm saying that if she keeps repeating your behavior, she's going to end up where you are. And that's not what we want perpetuated in the society.
Hey, with all due respect, I mean, that is what that is. We all have different opinions on how we want to live our lives.
A baby is not an opinion. Having bastard kids is degeneracy.
That's fine. But
being a bastard baby maker is being a degenerate. That's not an opinion of being a degenerate, ma'am. Being a bastard baby maker is a degenerate. And you still are holding on to it and committed to degeneracy. So, with all due respect, degenerate is a word that has a meaning. And gutter is a word that has a meaning. And when we see somebody sitting up here with a woman who wants to be gutter needs to be a single person sitting off by themselves, completely segregated from people, children, or anything else they can mess up because they don't have any standards in this world. That's the problem. And she's behaving like a single mom.
You know, she's not divorced.
She's behaving like a single mom. She didn't behave like this to get married. Your philosophy is why she never could have gotten married. If she had adhered to what you're talking about, she never would have gotten there. So she's waited until after she got married, and now she's trying to spin it. And the problem is, when she starts sounding like you and acting like you, she needs to ask herself, well, do I really want Ebony's life?
I don't act like that, but...
Are you a single mom?
That is not the manner and way I behave.
Are you a single mom?
I know your spiel.
Are you a single mom?
I know your spiel.
Ma'am, are you a single mom?
Mother, I did not make a decision.
All right. You made a decision.
Everybody makes their own decision.
You didn't make a decision to be a single mother.
So you can harp on that.
Wait a minute. You didn't make a decision to be a single. You didn't make a decision to be a single mother.
No, you like.
Ma'am,
I understand.
my program is not here for you to drone on the background. Do not talk over the host. Are you saying that you did not make a decision to be a single mother?
Can I answer the question?
Ma'am, my question is, are you telling us you did not make a decision to become a single mother?
I did not. I didn't know that that was going to happen. I thought that the person was going to step up and take responsibility.
So you didn't know you were having unprotected sex? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Of course I did.
Okay,
Did I
so
know that
you
the
did
person
know.
wasn't going to take responsibility? No, I did not.
No. Why would you think he's going to take responsibility if you haven't had him sign a contract claiming he will take responsibility? Why would you do something? Why would be stupid enough to believe that?
And that comes down to, ignorance and hoping that there are responsible men out here, and sometimes you think they are and they aren't. They do a lot to placate.
No. What it is that females like you look for irresponsible males who are living a gutter life to help you indulge your gutter fantasy. And what we're saying is that should not be perpetuated anywhere.
I never had the gutter fantasy.
And
so
take a look at how she shifted blame. Now she's shifting blame for herself. Wait a minute, that is your uterus. You are in charge of your uterus, and you didn't take responsibility for your uterus. You're trying to point the blame at somebody else for your uterus. You own it.
Oh, no. I take full responsibility for
Okay, then don't mention him. Okay, don't mention him.
That was going to happen.
Then don't. No, then it was your choice. Then it was your choice to become a single mom because you own the uterus. And if you didn't make sure you were not a single person, then you chose to become a single mom. Single person, single mom.
You never know. People will be out here thinking that it's not possible for them, and then boop, it happens. I was 30 years old.
No. There's nobody who gets pregnant by accident. You got pregnant on purpose. Ma'am, do not talk over the host. Last time. We are not going to do that.
But I was under the impression that...
Okay. Since she has decided that she is not going to be quiet, out you go. And by the way, she was a great exhibit. That's exhibit A. If you want to know the dirty gutter mentality, I didn't know I could get pregnant. Really? I didn't know I was going to get pregnant. Sounds like she's a good size 16. She ran from D.C. to Dallas, which means her life is a complete chaotic shambles. I didn't know I could get pregnant. I let him all up. Yeah, I'm letting him do his thing. And I just figured. Why would anybody sit up here and make a commitment to somebody so silly? Why? And so, of course, once you all find out, well, why would she be condoning what Aisha is doing? Oh, hell, because Aisha is now mimicking Ebony's trashy gutter life. And what she's showing you is that 38 years old, she has not changed. At 38, I want the women listening tonight to understand something. If you don't grow up and if you don't evolve, you are not going to be able to do any better than her. You'll be middle-aged talking like a 5-year-old. What's wrong with her showing off like that there? What's wrong with that? Why not? Why can't she do that there? And what she just did was she just explained why no man would ever marry her. Ladies, that's the bottom line. Stupid is as stupid does. Caller from area code 281. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, my name is Tony. I'm calling from Houston, Texas.
Tony from Houston. And what's on your mind?
Listen, Jason, I agree with you 150%. I'm a 65-year-old black professional man. I was certainly born and was an adolescent and a young man before social media. We had no cell phones, personal computers, Instagram. We had nothing but a telephone. That's all we had. I made the mistake at 20 years old of getting with a woman who was a single mother. I had very little to no experience with girls, and so she had a child with a man who was with a boy in high school. She was 19. He was not worth crap. He didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. He never worked. He was nothing. But she had a child with him. I met her. Through my naivete, I fell into it. I took care of her. I took care of the child. Christmas was like a department store. After 2 years, she left me. She left me and went back to the baby daddy. But don't worry, she did come back to me after she married him.
I imagine.
Oh, yeah. Sure, she came back to me after she, it didn't work, but all it was gutter, like you mentioned with this first caller. My point to this is Seth Curry is undergoing, what's happening to Seth Curry is what happens to a lot of women in a lot of marriages. They've been married a long time. Seth Curry is, from what I understand, I don't know anything about him personally, never met him. He seems like a decent guy. You know, people think being a basketball player is a piece of cake. He's one injury away from not playing. It's a very strenuous, it's a hard thing to do. They don't give him money just simply because they like his smile. He has to perform. And so what she is doing now, she's doing what women do. She is seeking the attention that she feels that she can only use her body for, because that's all women really have is their bodies.
Well, you know, now let me be very clear about that, because this is the reason I made the business. There's so much oversimplification that goes on. And it's going to take time, which is why I have to divide this up into different pieces and deal with this about what it is that gives a woman value. Now, as you all know, and by the way, I'm not one of these people, because I've actually been to the end zone a few times. You know, 2020 wasn't my first touchdown. For a lot of other folks, it was their first touchdown. 2020 was not my first touchdown. I'm like the New England Patriots. I'm like, we're running out of room on my mantle for all these trophies up here. So I'm like, it's all right. I kind of visit here every other month. So my video about the 29-year-old single mom who went crazy, it's on World Star, hundreds of thousands of views. I haven't said anything. That was since last month, by the way. I hadn't said anything. And my point is, it's resonated with a lot of people, but I want you to also understand what she didn't get. And I never did have a chance to explain it there. One of the programs I'm going to do here coming up soon, I want to get into that about what is it that gives a woman value and longevity in a relationship when you no longer have your youth. And the real thing is, don't squander your youth, because that is the time a man can invest in you emotionally, right, socially. Right. That's the time that he gains an attachment to you. So that when your body is no longer, when your body is no longer 23 years old, he's now formed a different attachment to you because he is invested in you. But if you squander that time, and if you sit up here playing the field too damn long, and you keep re-entering the marketplace and re-entering it and re-entering it and re-entering it, right, every time you go into the marketplace, I'm just going to sprinkle y'all with a little bit of this here before I get to the program about what gives a woman her value. We're coming up with that in a little while. But every time a woman meets a man, ladies, you start from zero. Every time you meet a man, you start from zero. If you break up with a guy and come back, you're starting from zero. You're telling yourself from your last, Ebony just got off the phone, and in her mind, because she's a single mom of 8 or 9 years, and when she meets a man, she shouldn't be starting from zero on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the completion point. She should be like 7 or 8 because of what she's done with somebody else. So when she meets you, she doesn't say to herself, I'm starting over all over again. When she meets you, she's talking about her job and what she's been through and all the baggage she's carrying. So she figures y'all should start off on an 8, because she's trying to get you to give her credit, if you will, store credit for what she's done with somebody else and what she's been through with somebody else. And ladies, it's not the way it works. When you meet a new man, you are starting from zero. You have to start all over again, which is why it is so important that you get the right one. You stick with him, because you are going to flush all of that social credit and personal credit down the drain. You're not going to get to meet a new guy and then tell him, okay, give me the credit of being with you for 6 years and we just met. You might need it, especially if you're in your late 20s or late 30s. Yeah, you might need that. But that's not what you're going to get. Don't think you can just come back out here and start all over again, but you're going to be able to start over with a credit. No, you're going to start over at best at 0 and at worst with a deficit. You're walking out here with somebody else's kids. Oh, deficit. You starting at -4. Forget starting at 0 or 4. You starting at -4. You cannot keep doing that. You can't.
No. And I'll say this, and I'll let it go very quickly. I'm no longer in the game. I've remarried. I've been married 28 years now. I'm doing fine now. I'm an older man now. I can tell these young men, 18 to 35 today, what you're doing in that first caller that you had. These are the kind of women you're dealing with. If I wouldn't want to be you guys for nothing on the planet to deal with these women today. Marrying them and taking a risk with them is a very, very, very dangerous thing. It will take your life. It will take your money. It will take your resources. It will take your happiness. So all I'm saying is listen to Jason. Keep up the good work, brother. I listen to you all the time, and good luck to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, brother. Please do give us a call again. I mean, that's why single moms push so hard, because they understand, let me find a guy who is naive, and hopefully he doesn't know very much and isn't very experienced. Let me go ahead and get him sprung, and then he will start me from a lot further ahead than I should be getting. He'll start me a lot further ahead. And I say these things because I want you to value what you have. That's my point. I want you to value what you've got. There is a way to win, ladies. There is a way to win. But you cannot be out here squandering the years. What do I do when my looks fade? How long has that man been invested in you? If he's been invested in you in 6 months or a year, your looks matter a lot. If he's got 5, 6, 7 years in the game, that's not really his biggest thing. He's like, I'm over it at this point. You're embedded in his life, and that's where you want to be. But you can't get that elevated value if you're jumping around from one bed to another. Caller from area code 812, you're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Okay, brother, I don't know if you're on speakerphone or not. A lot of background noise. Let's get it together there. Okay, we're not really here to hold on here. Folks, if you're calling up here, let's go.
Better now.
Okay, what is your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, I just agree with the previous
Okay,
caller.
brother, let's try this one last time. What is your name and where you calling from? Okay, he's hitting the pipe. Let me get rid of him. Caller from area code 713. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller from 713. Last try.
From Houston, Texas.
Okay, are you over there? Nigga, you over there feeling on yourself and whatnot? Put down the baby oil. You're on live.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, you jackass. Speak.
Okay. I posit that if Steph wanted an Instagram model, I'm sure he could have easily gotten one. That's logical. And the problem with women is that they don't think logically. And I'm 54 years old. I retired at 49. And I've never been married. I don't have any children. Instead, I've taken up travel. And when you travel, you find a totally different dynamic in women. In fact, my favorite country is Cuba. And man, it's just beautiful. But I just don't see the value in marriage when you just can't trust women. And the system is geared towards men.
Okay, you said you're 50. You
if
said
you've
you're
been trying to
54
prove
years.
that
You
before
said
you
you're
married this
54
woman?
years old, correct?
Yes.
Okay, let me find out something here. What do you do for a living?
I'm retired. I spent 6 years as a chemist, in the last 23 years of the professional firefighter.
Okay. And let me ask you a couple of questions here then. Because I want to find out about Cuba. I'm kind of curious about that. You raise a good point there. I want to find out a couple of things. And
Ask on.
it sounds like you've been a few times. How many times have you been?
I've been 6 times.
Okay. 6 times. When was your first time you went?
About 3 months after I retired in 2017.
Okay, so you're a recent visitor, a recent tourist to Cuba. There's no problem there. Sounds good about that. I want to get some details about exactly how it goes down there. Before I do, I just need to find out, how much do you weigh?
Right now, I weigh 300 pounds.
That's what I thought. How tall are you?
6'1".
And just out of curiosity, what exactly are you offering to the lovely ladies of Cuba at the highly athletic build of 6'1" and half a refrigerator?
Dude, I'm a big man. I play college football. But
brother, you acting like we all don't know what the hell you acting like we all don't know what 6'1" and 300 pounds looks like.
Because what's that?
You acting like we all don't know what 6'1" and 300 pounds looks like, dude. If you don't stop this Carl Winslow imitation.
Dude, I don't know why you want to insult me.
It's not an insult.
I'm just telling you.
I'm not insulting. No, that's a fact. No, don't mischaracterize what I said. I'm not insulting you. That's a fact. James Gandolfini, James Avery, 6'1", 300 pounds. That's about right. There you go. And I'm just wondering I'm just wondering here, since you did start off by showing one of your credentials, one of your accolades is how great the women in Cuba are and how much you enjoyed it. I'm just wondering what it was they enjoyed about you.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it does matter.
Me over here.
Yeah, it does matter, because if y'all are over there tricking off your money paying for prostitutes, that ain't really something we can brag about over here. So I'm trying to figure out what the ladies liked about you.
So you come off as an intelligent dude until you make assumptions like that.
I'm asking you.
First off, I don't like diseases. So, and if you think did I ever say that I went over there and sexed up a lot of Cuban broads? You jumped to that assumption. What I found in Cuba was a place that's relatively safe. I found a place where black people walk on the streets without fear at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Okay? You got me a little upset there, Jason, because I thought you were smarter than that. But this is my point. This is what I'm saying. I retired early because I didn't get bogged down by this shit y'all got going on in America. And that's all I'm saying.
Okay, now, but you still haven't explained to me what it is that the ladies over there got out of you, out of knowing you.
I only have one lady. If you'd like to talk to her, I'll hook you up. You can ask her. I've never asked her.
Okay, yeah, I would love to hear how that conversation.
That's not fair.
I'd love to hear how that conversation goes. Sure.
That I was partaking in whores just by talking with me. That's not fair at all.
No. Okay, first of all, I asked you. I didn't assume anything, but let's just be very, very clear, dude. It ain't like you killing the game over here in America. So when you talking like things are going so radically better for you just because it's a, quote, foreign country, y'all act like we don't know these chicks in the foreign countries are already hit to the game. The internet and Facebook is everywhere.
Jason,
y'all ain't balling out of control over there.
Okay?
Y'all are not ballers over there, man. Y'all been acting for decades. Y'all been going over there sex tourism and coming back here telling us like y'all are over there macking.
But dude, why are you saying y'all?
Because you're in the right, sir. You're of the right age. You are of the right age, the right lower income level, and the right body type. You are a low status male talking about how great things are in Cuba. When we all know the get down to females in Cuba. Anybody who's been to Miami knows they're not some third world chicks who are looking at you like some sun god. They're already used to dudes with millions of dollars, and you're not one of them. So if you're talking about how much you enjoyed it, what the hell you gonna get? And you're breathing on my phone like you ran a marathon.
Real ignorant people who can't talk back to you.
This fella is
you're wrong.
Y'all, he is on my phone breathing so damn hard. Turn your CPAP machine on, brother.
Hey, I don't need it. Hey, I'm in Texas. I went for 3 days without it. How's that for you?
Okay, well, I don't want to overwork you here because it sounds like you need a respirator and he's mouth
Jason,
breathing.
You can't think. You can't even not thank me. Now, you're hard, man. You talking all this shit like you highbrow. You a lowbrow motherfucker. That's what you are.
Okay, I can barely make out what you're saying. The 3 fat rolls around his neck. Vibrating him. Dude, ain't no females in Cuba or America checking for you. So you can't put down any of them. None of them are interested in you.
Hey, dude, whatever you say is just fine.
Good, now get off the phone.
I'm just telling you. I thought you were a logical man. You're not even logical.
Man,
you're emotional like a bitch.
If you don't hang up the phone with your double beef baconator built ass, get off my phone. He's shaped like a ball of cotton candy. See, this is the reason why the MGTOW morons and the manosphere midgets don't like me. Because a fella like that would call up, and those jackasses, because this is new to them. Women are new. They didn't just start getting attention from women till the last year. And now they're out here pretending like they've always gotten it, but you can see from their behavior, it's totally new. They would have let that guy say what he said and keep on walking. Yep, that's right. The women in this Western society is all corrupted and messed up. Whoa, hold on a second. Before you run down the women over here, by the way, I just need to know upon what authority you're speaking. So, by the way, if you love Cuba so much, because, by the way, anybody who lives in Florida, Southern Alabama, New York, y'all know y'all got Cuban women there. And I'm talking about first generation immigrants. Are they over here like feed the damn children and desperate? Hell no. This guy's talking like this in 1970 and we all don't know the get down. Chicks in Cuba, whether they're in Florida or whether they're in Cuba, these aren't low-class, low-brow chicks who are impressed by a nigga buying them a Happy Meal and a Slurpee. They're not over there all desperate. If anybody in Southern Florida knows the get down, them broads are ready. Anybody who's been to the beach in Miami, North Miami Beach, they are ready. They're all up in the gym. They're getting their plastic surgery. They doing their squats every day. They are ready. And then you're going to have damn me Bookman call me up and tell me that he was going over there and it was going great. Hell no, he was getting some Gilbert Grape built Cuban chick. But as far as the ones that a person like me, if I were so inclined, would be interested in, someone like y'all listening, unless y'all want Gilbert Grape, no. This fella sounds like he needs a hover round and an oxygen tank and trying to talk to us as if when he goes to Cuba, it's lovely. It ain't lovely. It's not lovely. This nigga's built like a Washington apple, and yet he's sitting up here telling all of us about how great things are going when he gets to Cuba. And he's saying that under the assumption that none of us have ever talked to any Cuban chicks or met any Cuban chicks. And the first thing I want to know is, okay, what are you offering the lovely ladies of Cuba that it was going so great for you? Because I'm hearing you on this phone and they can't hear you breathing hard until I say something. But I'm hearing it from the very outset and I'm like, this ain't going so well. And plus you 54 years old. How the hell are you 54? If you ain't bossing the females in America, I know damn well you ain't bossing the chicks in Cuba. The chicks in Cuba are smart to the game. Only some jackass who thinks the rest of us don't know any of them, because legitimate, genuine Cuban females are really only relegated to Southern Florida and the East Coast. So he's assuming that the rest of us have never met any and never talked to any and don't know the deal, and that Cuba is some secluded third world country that they don't see people but once a year. And the fellas listening to me right now in Florida, they all know, man, look here. This dude don't know. This dude, them chicks ain't sitting up here dazzled and astounded by you like that, man. Don't sit up here calling up talking like that. You gotta be legit. You gotta be legit. Call of Mary Code 609. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Jason? This is Fareed calling from New Jersey.
Fareed, from where at New Jersey?
Trenton area, Ewing, New Jersey.
Ewing, New Jersey. What's on your mind?
Yeah.
Turn off your speakers.
Man.
Turn off your speakers. Turn off your... And by the way, with the previous caller, did you all hear, by the way, I didn't get to mention this. You heard his smoke alarm in the background, right? Now, it's one thing when the females call up and their smoke alarms are going off and chirping. But by the way, this fella is doing so great and so wonderful. He was a chemist, and he can't even figure out how to change the battery in his smoke alarm, by the way. So I just thought I would point that out. I didn't get to say it while he was on the phone. I was too busy dropping him. But yeah, I couldn't help but notice the smoke alarm was chirping. But he's the boss, right? He's the boss. Okay, brother, what's on your mind?
So I'm listening, man. I heard the other caller. I'm a young dude, but I know your type that you were talking about. Older, he sound like he was kind of big or whatever. But it's not really about him. I used to date this chick. It's kind of like the Aisha Curry situation. She wanted a thug or whatever. So when she started acting reckless, I was like, fuck this. I'm like, I'm good. Like, I'm not about to deal with this. So we broke up or whatever. She got with her thug, and obviously she started calling me back, talking about, oh, he's beating me, like I missed the times, I missed the dog, all this stuff. And shoot, I just started cutting her off. I'm like, I ain't got time for that. I ended up finding me a way better girl. She treat me, I just do my thing. She treat me way better than my old girl, yeah, man. I'm like, I see the Aisha Curry thing, like, and he just reminded me of that. And same thing with my brother. My brother, he was dealing with this chick, man. And
well, let me find out here, brother. Do you have any kids?
Crazy. Do I have a kid?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Well, at least you were smart enough not to get her pregnant, because in her case, that would be the only way. They don't actually mess with men, and they don't actually merge with them, and they don't actually, form any type of connection. They just work on trying to trap men, and that's something we have to be careful about. And there's two ways to trap us. Yeah. Babies and marriage, and you've got to be discriminating. Men have got to be careful. If you are not sure about the woman that you're with, and most importantly, if you are not sure about your motives for taking up with her, it will go bad quickly. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get a caller from area code 510. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's up, Jay? It's your boy Chi out of Berkeley, California.
All right, brother. What's on your mind?
Oh, the video's on point. The broadcast is on point. In fact, a good example is I live in the Bay Area, so everybody's Team Steph and Aisha. They think they're the royal couple, like Jay-Z and Beyonce. But the way Aisha craves attention like currency, it's like that's all she's been doing ever since Steph got flirted with by the Nigerian girl off ESPN. I think her name was Rose Gold. And ever since then, she's been changing her whole outlook on trying to get attention from NBA players and rap stars. I think it was that moment during the NBA Finals is when Aisha changed. You agree?
No. She was always like that. She was always like that, and you know, if we saw this that quickly, there were warning signs, but fellas can be, you know, they can be real simplistic about what they want, and then you wait until things jump up and bite you. And that's the worst mistake you can make. By the time you've reacted to it, it's already over. And that's the thing to take a look at there. So no, she didn't just sit up like that. She was always bucking for attention. See, that's something that we as men need to make sure we keep an eye on. When a female is bucking for attention, she's putting up a bunch of selfies on Facebook. She's demanding attention for herself. So it's not good enough that she's got you as a peak value high status individual. That's not enough. She wants to compete with that. She wants to prove that she's on your level. It isn't enough for her that she has gained your acceptance. She wants to prove that she is, quote, on your level. And when that happens, that's a warning sign that we need to make sure of. See, one of the things we do today is, men, if she ain't chasing us around the house with a butcher knife or making a false, assault allegation, we sit up here and be like, okay, I can work with it. We need to start analyzing and identifying these character flaws. Every character flaw, doesn't come with physical harm involved. The character flaws that get us caught up are the ones that don't involve that. So we tend to be oversimplistic because we're busy, and it's just like, hey, if it ain't gonna kill me, I'll figure out a way to work with it. And then we end up trying to work with things we shouldn't be working with. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 240. Hey, wait a minute. 240. Who is this? You sound rather inebriated. Well, that sounds familiar. I think this is the obese female who called during my last program. Now, let's see. Her telephone number is 240-564-1533. I'll repeat that again. Her phone number is 240-564-1533. Now, she thinks what she's going to do is prank call or whatever, but I do things a little bit differently. So for those of you listening here live or recorded, she may be in physical distress. She might be in trouble. She likes to call people and harass them. So her number is 240-564-1533. I'm also going to post her picture here shortly so that you all can see what she looks like. Because since she's called up, she must need help because she's not talking and she sounds like she's in distress. So I'm going to post her picture here. If she calls up again, I'm going to post her phone number and her picture on the screen so everybody can see it. Did you get that, dummy? Sounds like she doesn't want to play anymore. Yeah, I ain't Kitten Heels or Dullivan Sharp. I play rough. If you'd like to keep playing with me, you're certainly welcome to try. Be forewarned, I don't like perfumes and candles. I don't snuggle up with strong 5s and tell the world that they're 8s. And I don't get down with sex dolls. And call myself coach. You play on my phone, I play rough. Caller from area code 770. You're on live with The Business. Yeah, y'all, that's how a man handles it. The rest of them clowns are over there playing. No, you just saw how a boss handles it. You're on live with The Business, 770 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on, Jason? This is Nick, the artist from ATL.
What's on your mind?
I just wanted to create a theory here. Now, when I look at their relationship in the public light, I kind of see that I think Steph Curry knew who this woman was, like, before the public knew. Now, the reason why I make that point is because when she's taking these pictures with her family, it's almost as if for her public image, she wants to let the world know that she's doing her job as a mother. And then when I look at her, like by herself, you know, you're exactly right. You're on point. But when I look at that picture with Steph Curry, when they're at the dinner table or at the diner or whatnot, he kind of has like this look on his face where he knows who he's dealing with. But I really feel like he's doing his part as a husband by keeping the marriage tight. But I also feel like he's messing with something on the side too, because, you know, I've been a fool before in relationships, but when you kind of figure out who you're dealing with, like you kind of wisen up. So I wouldn't put it past him if he was talking to a chick on the side. What do you feel about that?
Okay, I had some other clueless individual, brother, and I'm going to be respectful as I can be. I had another clueless individual say something like that, and y'all say that as if that matters. I'm just saying there's too many of you all that your way of dealing with the world is really on a very, very female. I told the guys before, we can't relate to these things like hoes, man. We can't do that. Sex is not a power. Stephen Curry had access to females before her, with her, after her. Okay, and that helps him in this situation. How?
In the eyes of the public, you're saying?
No, you
Or
tell
in
me.
the eyes
You're
of
the
his
one
wife?
you're the one who's invoked. Well, I feel like he got a chick on the side. Okay, and your point is.
I mean, well, actually, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I'm trying to really
His side
stick up
chick
for
doesn't. Okay,
Steph
his
because-
side chick is not his representative. This is why we call them side
Yeah.
chicks, mistresses, whatever. Your wife is the one who carries your legacy. She's the one who carries your name. She is the one that is public facing. You present her to the world. That's the difference. When you present, she is your.
all right.
Okay,
So, look,
stop
I posed
talking.
this idea
Stop
because I wanna
talking,
ask you
sir.
this question.
Whoa. Stop
So was
talking.
that- well, I'm sorry. What was that?
She is your forward-facing representative. Your mistress ain't the representative. The chicks you laid up with on the road ain't the representatives. Those are not your representative. This woman is the one that you sign a contract with that is binding on the both of you. This is your representative. Too many of y'all were raised in homes when mama wasn't married, so you don't understand the value of being able to say that this woman is your representative. That when people see her, this is the female version of you, the female representative of you. You don't see any value in your name, just your name by itself. So you don't understand that your name alone is supposed to raise a woman's status. Now, for most dudes out here today, your name doesn't raise anyone's status, but your name is supposed to, his name, to be able to tell the world that you are Mrs. Curry. That alone by itself, with her saying nothing else, raises her status. The mistress and anybody that you're assuming, because there's no proof of that whatsoever, but even if it were true, that doesn't raise their status. Now, here's the other issue. The other issue here is, number one, that doesn't matter, and number two, this woman has the ability to totally wreck his everything. The mistresses and whoever, even if he is sleeping with somebody else, it doesn't matter what they think because they don't have any legal rights to wreck what he's doing. That woman, her shenanigans, her foolishness, her betrayals, her backsliding, that can destroy everything that he spent the last decade and a half of his life trying to build. Something that no other female on earth has the ability to do. So this idea that sex is a power or a benefit, I know I'm talking to a bunch of young fellas and they're being misled by a lot of these older cats like Professor Bowling Ball, who claims to be going down to Cuba. That doesn't benefit us. That doesn't benefit us at all. It wouldn't matter if he's sleeping with 1,000 women. This one is able to wreck everything. And she's the only one who matters because she's got rights.
Okay, help me understand this. So I understand exactly everything that you're saying, but why is Steph supporting all these pictures she's posting? And I'm sure he's seen them before they're posted. Like, why do you think
he's probably the one taking them? He's probably the one taking them.
Okay.
And when I did the broadcast tonight, I did the broadcast tonight because I explained this earlier tonight. You're probably getting here late. I explained it earlier. What he tells himself. See, she's done wrangled him in, and he's telling himself, well, I'm going to show the way I'm going to work with this. I'm not going to pull rank and tell her you can't do this. I'm going to instead show her I'm not insecure. I'm going to gain her respect by indulging by showing that what she's doing doesn't bother me. So I'm going to show her that, hey, I ain't worried about it. I'm just going to show you I'm not worried. Hey, I'll even take the pictures with you. See, I'll join with her. And there are a bunch of psychologists out here who will tell you that strengthens your marriage. Instead of you trying to fight your wife doing it, nigga, it sounds like you're unwrapping up Three Musketeers. Shall I let you finish your lunch break? He asks me questions and then he wants to start unwrapping a payday bar. Right in the receiver. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by the Mars Candy Company, there are psychologists and therapists out there who will tell you that the family that slays together stays together. So they will sit up here and encourage you to be taking pictures like this with your wife and say, hey, make this a family activity under the assumption that psychologically this is something she wants to do. You will not be able to stop her from wanting to do it. If she doesn't do it with you, then she'll do it with somebody else. So what you need to do in order to prevent her from looking for other options, you should indulge in it with her. Join it with her. Make this a marriage, husband and wife activity so that she can explore these fantasies with you and not with someone else. So on the one hand is his cowardice. On the second hand, you actually have a psychological and mental health community that will endorse this behavior. And then last but not least, he actually thinks it's a strategy. And then, of course, there could be the fourth contingent, that there's a part of him that's, I don't know, satisfied by it, seduced by it. Hey, this is kind of cool. Check out my chick. But he knows better. Every man knows better than this. But that's not preventing him from making what is so obviously a mistake. Kanye West thought he could handle it too. They always do. Kanye West thought he could handle it. He couldn't handle it. Steph is telling himself he can handle it. And the more he indulges, the more she ramps it up. That's the problem. Thank you for giving us a call here tonight. People, if you're on your lunch breaks, save it till next time. Caller from area code 862, you're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Jason. My name is Symphony. I'm calling from Wilmington, Delaware.
Destiny from Wilmington. What's on your mind?
I really want your opinion on something. So I'm about to be 37. I don't have any children. I'm not overweight. And I know you spoke about, squandering our youth and stuff like that for women in my situation. Do you think that there's still time and hope for me to have a family and find a good man?
Yeah, I mean, of course. Why would there not? Let me find out here. Why would you think there is not?
Well, like you said, like squandering youth, that's all I keep hearing in my head. And I feel like, as I get older, my body is changing and it might be harder for me to have children. So it just plays back in my mind when you say squander your youth. And like, I feel like I don't have that much time. Now, I don't want to just meet any old body, but, I do want to find a high value man as well.
Okay. First and foremost, you have to ask yourself a simple question here, which is, you cannot, a producer, and here I want you all to understand there's a difference between high value and a producer. I've explained this before about peak value man, so just understand the folks who tried to take my philosophies and reword them, there's a reason why they can't give you all answers. That's what, and eventually you all end up coming here and then you get your answers. So first and foremost, take a look at the man, the type of man you want to be with, and you have to ask yourself a fundamental question: why would he want to be with you? Of all, he's got his pick of all the women in the world. Why would he choose Destiny over those women.
Mhm. Okay.
I'm asking. You tell me. Why would he choose you? And why would he choose you over them? Because if you can't answer that question, then it's a pointless question. That's just like saying, I want to get a job at Microsoft. Okay, you want to get a job sweeping the floors? Oh, no, I want to get paid $200,000 a year. Okay, well, those are for their lead programmers. Why would they hire you? And then you need to be ready to answer that question. So, the type of man that you want.
That makes sense.
The type of man that you want. Why would he choose you over all the other candidates?
Okay.
When you get the answer, once you answer that question, because when you look in the mirror, you know, take a look in the mirror, play a video of yourself talking, and then go find 2 or 3 examples online of the kind of man you want. And then you ask yourself, is that woman in the mirror and is that woman talking the type of female that he aspires to? Because he's got his own aspirations. Are you a female that he aspires to? Or are you not?
Well,
and then you have to ask yourself, okay, if I'm not suited for one of those guys, what is the type of guy I am suited for? And then once you found your lane, you need to stay in it. Not spending the rest of your life chasing fairy tales or something you can't actually have.
I feel like it's harder as I get older because I meet, not meet like I date a lot, but just having conversations with men who already have children. They don't want children. They've already been married. They don't want to get married. So it's like harder for me. I don't know if it's my demographics, but it's very hard.
I imagine it is. What I want you to do here, because we're talking about something a little bit different here tonight, but what I want you to do, go ahead and send me an email. Email me at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. That's handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. Okay. I want you to send me your name, some links to your social media, Instagram, Facebook, and a good contact number for you. And we'll see about setting you up for a discussion, okay?
You said handlethebusiness.com?
Handlethebusiness@yahoo.com.
Okay.
And we'll see about taking a look at
right now.
We'll see about having an in-depth discussion about that, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right. Let me get caller from area code 843. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, TBA, it's Tobias out of Phoenix.
Tobias out of Phoenix. Brother, I'm hurting feelings out here tonight. What's going on?
Man, when I saw this stuff, even like with Sierra and like Russell, what's his name, Steph Curry and Aisha Curry, something hit me. A lot of our sisters, black women, don't realize that they won, that they got the man who chose them out of any woman to have his kid and put them in a life where they will never have to work again. But yet Aisha, soon as she lost the Mexican body, that she wants to get out there and show herself and get attention from guys who working at Foot Action and can't even buy a 3-piece at Popeyes. She values attention from random dudes who can't do a scintilla of what Steph Curry put her up in. And what she fails to realize, like this woman failed to realize, this woman's over 30 with 3 kids, 3 small kids. Don't matter how pretty and light-skinned you are, you still walking around 3 kids and your husband, you signed a $20 million contract. The average man ain't trying to follow, 1, with your small kid, 2, following that up. What the hell can he do for you? What the hell can he provide for you? How can that man change your life if you got that kind of money coming in? And she ain't going to never find that type of man again. And so, okay, you got the attention, but last time I checked, attention ain't paying for those kids' private schools, college education, and all that good stuff.
Here's the issue. She takes the money for granted now. Now that she actually got him and she knows she got the system behind her, she just wants the resources and the shine. So now what she wants to do is extract the value from him. Follow me, everybody. She's got legal rights to his money. She's got legal rights to his name. Shout out Nicole Murphy, by the way. Shout out Nicole Murphy. How long you been divorced from that man? And what was that? R. Kelly's ex-wife, didn't she do the same damn thing? Well, she already left that man and still kept his last name. So she's got legal rights to his financial resources, legal rights to his social resources. So when you all heard me say that earlier about social resources, your name, your status, she can get the money and the name without legally being married to him anymore, legally being obligated anymore, and you can still retain those things. And if you don't think they got value, ask Nicole Murphy. Because we still call her Nicole Murphy, even though she ain't been Nicole Murphy in over a decade or so. So right now, she's got that. The kids are going to be taken care of regardless. So what she's thinking to herself is kind of the reverse of that. Some women are like, I need to hurry up and have kids before I get too old. She's like, okay, I've already gotten the husband and the kids. I need to get back out here in these streets before I'm too old. And he's holding me back. And unfortunately, most of our women today are possessed of a similar foolishness. I just have to say, it's a foolish ideology that has taken hold. It is their culture now, and we're sifting through the garbage to find the ones who have not adopted this, because it's nonsense. Because we all know where this ends. Once she gets done with her sexual thrill seeking, she is going to re-enter the marketplace again. She's going to try to go see if she can trade on her sexuality again. Only this time she's going to try to go back and see if she can get a dude like him. Go see if she can find a second one. And this lie that we keep telling females that the kind of man you want is waiting for you out there, that's a lie. We need to tell them, girls, there's 100 of you and there's about 2 of them. And it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out brawl to get those 2.
Yep.
You will not have it.
You know what it reminds me of when you said that? It's like that movie The Dark Knight where the Joker had only one spot left and he broke the Q and said, y'all go at it for the final spot to the death. That's how women are with producers. They will slit your throat. That's why women don't want their girlfriends knowing their boyfriends or husbands, because they know if he does something for them, they want that. And I think like it was Sierra and Russell Wilson, right? The thing I hated when Russell said that is because, bruh, her greatest fear should be losing you. Because she ain't going to find another one like that. She was pretty much Charlie Bucket from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, got the golden ticket. Because I hate to break it to you sisters. You have a baby, not just having a kid, but having a kid by a man named Feature who demonstrated that his man is totally irresponsible and you still went down a rabbit hole. That's really lowers your value in my eyes. And not too many guys going to come up behind that. She got lucky. So they looking at that as goals. I want a Russell Wilson. Yeah, you want that guy who doesn't care that you messed around with a guy who has as many baby mamas as Tom Brady has Super Bowl rings. That's the problem. And they think they could just find this guy because they see Russell Wilson, the cornball dude, who will sit there and do that. But here's the thing that Russell messed up on. She keep publicly having her ex name in her mouth in front of everybody. He's sitting there not checking it. To me, that's the man she wants. She tried to dress him up, make him like that's the man. And he has to put his foot down, but he should have at the beginning. These men today don't look at women and say, you should be lucky to have me. I'm not lucky to have you because I can find another you. Can you find another me? That's why fellas, if you got your stuff together, your exes will call you back. Even if they left you for another dude, they realize they ain't getting that and they want that back. And you got to put your foot down with them.
Well, the real deceptive part about all this is that the Aisha Currys and worse, the Ciaras of the world allow women to continue to embrace the fallacy that it doesn't matter what they do, there is a producer out there who is waiting for them. And that all they have to do when they get ready to make that move, all they have to do is say, okay, now I'm serious. So when the next one comes along, even though I said no to the last 3 or 4, when the next one comes along, this time I will say yes. But in reality, you and I both know the last 3 or 4, you weren't really eligible for them. You were eligible for the layup. You weren't eligible to keep them. Now you've waited until you don't have any options at all. And then they just end up becoming these elder thoughts sitting on Instagram, wiggling their butts for public amusement. But there isn't a man who is going to protect and provide for that. And in Aisha's case, she's telling herself she's light-skinned and privileged. She's really got a severe inferiority complex. And worst of all, this man is married to that now. Now he's married to it. And she gets up every day. In this case right here, and you and I both understand what we're looking at. Dude, you become the hoe now. He has put no rules on her. He's put no limitations. He has put absolutely no regulation on her whatsoever. She's just able to pick up her phone and do as she pleases. And he's supposed to be all right with it. And what he doesn't understand is every time you accept that, her respect for you goes down and down. Why? Because you're dealing with spoiled child syndrome. Your children, when your children want to do something, you constantly saying, yeah, go ahead, yeah, go ahead. That doesn't make them respect you. I mean, you're worried about being liked. Yeah, they, quote, like you because you let them do whatever they want, but they don't respect you. And when you are a married man, you don't want to be respected. You need that. A woman's only purpose in your life as a married man or in a relationship period is to respect you. That's supposed to be the first and primary place where you are respected. Even if the rest of the world doesn't, this is where you're invested. And he is investing in somebody that does not respect him and is publicly showing it now. When they start branching out in public, when it gets public, it's like, oh, you ain't putting this even shouldn't even be something for him to do. This isn't even something he should be saying. She's supposed to be regulating that herself. But the fact she isn't lets you know just how far out of pocket she really is now. And at this point, I don't know what you would do to reel her back in since she's got legal rights to all kinds of things now. And on top of that, she's got contempt. Now she's expressing, you're just too square and all these things I've been wanting to do. Yeah, I'm just going to steamroll your little square ass and just do what I want to do. I don't know how you fix that now. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah. I'll say these quick things. First, he can't even point LeBron James' wife on a police lineup. Low profile, ain't trying to do all that. But I heard the one nut job caller talking about Cuba and these foreign chicks. As a guy, I was in the Air Force and I've been overseas. Hate to break it to guys like that. One, you ain't got the money to mess with women like that because, hey, you got to get money to go out to these places, really spend time. But also, they know who the easy marks are, Jason. They know who the easy marks are. I've seen cats marry these foreign chicks and the crew smashed them already. These dudes are wifing them up. They think they so much better. And that's they bring them back and they complain about them taking them for their money and using them as the easy marks. And I just think that I just hate when you see brothers do that because they just giving up and they don't realize they ain't what sisters want. Because if they had their shit together, sisters be trying to fight to get them. But they keep running, trying to go to other countries. And what's going to happen? The same result. They don't get taken for the little crumbs they have. And they going to whine about that and find some next red, blue pill, purple
And
pill.
then they want to come back here and spin these. They want to tell these tall tales of how they was running the game over there in Cuba. I'm like, nigga, how you run the game in Cuba and ain't running nothing on MLK? You're trying to fool. You're acting like we're stupid.
Because I'll tell you this that I'll run. When I was in Guam, you had to pay $2,000 just to fly there. And I know it's U.S. territory. Like many of these countries like Brazil, you got to pay $1,500 to $2,000 just to fly there. Not to mention the hotel, not to mention the food, not to mention the going out and hanging out. So these guys, if you're a weak-ass dude, you're going to be a weak-ass dude for any other race, and they will feast on that in a heartbeat. But, man, thanks for taking my call. Black first.
Black First, brother, thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get caller from area code 678. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up? It's Mr. Hieroglyphic Chi calling from McDonough, Georgia.
What's on your mind, brother?
So one of the first things I would like to say is, sometimes I feel like the chat be a little too worthless. It's like people really trying to have conversations and they're trying to listen to you and discuss what you're saying. but everybody just like spamming and trolling with emojis and a whole bunch of BS. And it's like, yo, that's not what we're here for. We're here so that we can like upgrade ourselves and our community. And you can see what half the problem is just by looking at the chat. People ain't listening. They talking a whole bunch of BS. It's all emojis. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the first things I wanted to say.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get a caller from area code 832. Folks, I don't like people calling in criticizing my chat room. If I haven't said anything, I don't appreciate that. So I'm going to be as polite to whoever that was as I can. If I don't have an issue with it, I don't know why you do. But I don't have an issue with it. That's what they're here for. So everybody in the chat room, I don't know what his issue is, but what I need my chat room to do is to share my program. Hey, dude, pause. I need my chat room to share my program. If y'all want to stay in good with me, that's the way you do that. Now, caller from area code 832. You're on live with The Business. What is your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, Jason, this is Fabo. I'm calling out of Houston, Texas.
Okay, Fabro out of Houston. What's on your mind?
Well, now I'm going to say this is squared up about, man, the whole key thing is you not getting respect in the relationship or the respect boiling over when you don't check it. I pretty much see that in just dealing with females because I come from a family like with 6 sisters and a bunch of aunties, and that go with anything, particularly like dealing with them, with anybody really. But I notice if you don't get aggressive with them, or, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying me dealing with females personally from sisters or my relationships. Always when I get aggressive, when I, you know what I'm saying, be too nice, it's a ball over. But as soon as I get aggressive, you know what I'm saying, I get, you know what I'm saying, the understanding or the willing to work, and it's crazy, but
well, certainly you want to make sure that you've
buddy.
established your limits. By definition, women are going to want to check to see what your limits are. They are going to crap test you. They want to see what they can get away with because it's just temptation. It's female nature to test you and see not just if you real, but how real are you. So they're going to test that because they run into fakers all the time. And what they want to see is, are you the real thing or are you faking it? And if you're faking it, she's going to test you to see, are you really what you say you are? And if you are, then she's going to try to fill in the boundaries and see how far that goes. But certainly you want to make sure that you let them know, hey, this is who you are. This is who you are every day. And that's what it's going to be. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Make sure you share tonight's program. That is the most important thing for me. I'm not so much worried about likes, but everybody who's listening here live, I want to make sure you share tonight's program. You got social media. You got it on YouTube. Let's make sure we share that now. Very, very important that we do that. Let me go ahead and see here. Let me get caller from area code 214. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Jason. It's Golightly.
Hello, Golightly. You didn't come up here and help us shovel this snow, by the way.
No, I did not. I'm at the lake house.
Okay.
I did call. I hope you all are doing better.
That doesn't help me get the ice off my truck, but all right.
I know that you're under snow right now. My whole family is under snow.
All right. I need you to grab a shovel and some rock salt and help me out. All that sympathy and whatnot. All right, that's good. I need somebody to come lend a hand. Anyway, what's on your mind?
Jason, I don't do that. I don't shovel or build things. That's what men are for. I don't do that. I look cute and I work. But speaking about that, it's true. But speaking about that, Jason, if I may ask you 2 questions, and of course it has to do with your broadcast, but it's on each side of the spectrum. It's very obvious that, Aisha is a disciplinary problem. It's very clear. However, Steph allows this. He's not saying anything, and she's going to do as much as she's given rope to do, as much as she's allowed. And you basically have been alluding to this throughout your broadcast, is that he's not stopping it. And they're still very young. there's still plenty of time to remediate this type of disrespectful behavior, because it is. The pictures that you showed of her, I mean, she's basically naked or showing her behind, and this woman is married with 3 children. Regardless of the fact that he has money, she is disrespecting her husband. And I personally don't count, girlfriends or wifeys. I deeply, deeply respect marriage. I completely believe it bespeaks the relationship we have with God, and the man is the leader. And that's so, and I don't believe in divorce. Once you're married, that's it. So she, as you've been saying everything correctly, that she is the representative. She is the house, the home to his seed, his legacy, his name. She is the birth of his nation.
Okay, why don't you explain for us here, why is it that so many females today, when they do get a man who has, with all the women out here, they spend their whole lives complaining and saying they want a man who's got this amount of money and this amount of status and tall and this, that, and the other, and then they get it, and then we just have, it's standard procedure now that after they get it, then they become ungrateful and throw it all away. So why has that become female culture today?
Well, think of just the human psyche. And of course, this is not new. I mean, this also has to do with feminism. The Betty Friedan book, where you have women who keep thinking about, what could have been, I'm sure you've heard of that movie, Eyes Wide Shut. That one scene with Nicole Kidman, Tom Cruise, the Navy the Navy guy, well, she outright told him she would be willing to give up everything, her life, her money, the husband, the clout, everything, just for one night, for one guy. Women are like that. That's just women's nature if she's not appropriately disciplined. And a lot of women are like that. They just do what's been told early in their life. They get married. They become a wife. They don't have something that's just theirs. And these trysts, this attention, is something that is just for her, like she's getting for herself.
Well, I think that's an interesting thing.
Of the consequences.
That's an interesting point you make there. Because when men say that to women, we lying, okay? The man says, baby, if I could sleep with you for one night, I'd leave my wife. Knowing damn well he's lying. Damn well, he does not mean that at all. So when women say that kind of thing, do they really believe it? Or are they actually just lying right there because they want the guy to buy into it?
That may be true, but I think it's just that many of these women don't see past their actions. They really look at what we've been noticing. Accountability is a very, very big issue with women. And we've seen this looking just in business, that there was a female CEO of IBM. She completely ran IBM into the ground. They had to bring in an Indian dude. And she just, I did what she just kind of mumbled off. Look what happened to Yahoo. They brought in a female CEO. That company would have been sold to Microsoft for like $40 billion at one point. And look, it was basically given away to Verizon. They brought in a woman. Accountability is really taking responsibility for your actions. This is a very, very, very new trait for women to deal with. It's so new, and a big part of it is feminism. Because before, and I kind of mentioned this to you, the number one decision, when you look at the early 20th century, the Gilded Age, was the choice of who is going to be the father of your child, who is going to be your husband. Now, Jason, women are actually, working, and it's difficult. I'm by myself. And Jason, by the way, I have a new contract, $80 an hour. So I'm going to be annualized $280. I work. I have no choice because there's nobody else. And being alone has just made me realize how important men are. As much as money or whatever I think I can do, I cannot produce what men produce. Even just simple putting up a bookshelf. I'm not shoveling snow. Oh my, oh, Jason, no, I'm not going to do that. No.
Well,
We're
that might work for somebody else. I don't know if that
responsibility
can.
for her actions.
I don't know if that can work for me though. Like I say, if you can't shovel snow, I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to keep you around lightly. But I think you make some good points about
can I
that.
ask you one more question?
Well, you can ask one more thing, and then we need to move on. But you can ask one more question. But
thank you.
Those are good
Thank you,
points
Jason.
there.
One more.
Give us the Reader's
the
Digest
opposite of what's been
version.
You know the opposite of what's been going on? If you can please do a show, like the situation with Halle Berry, I think you know what's going on with her. It kind of also touches on with Britney Spears, too, where you have women who are kind of not making wise decisions in their mate, like they're not looking at consequences, and these women are losing everything. I mean, Halle still has her sanity, but she's paying out like over $16,000 a month.
No, they're not lose. Okay, we don't see that correctly. They are not losing everything. They have lost everything. See, that's a way of softening the blow and trying to make it more palatable. Halle's already lost it. She lost it a decade ago. She's not on her way to losing it. There isn't going to be another Eric Benet. There's not going to be another Christopher Williams. Damn sure ain't going to be another David Justice. There's not going to be another one. Do you realize how many producers and peak value males this woman ran through? Wesley, Dave, Chris. She got 4 bites at the damn apple that we're aware of, and how many others that we're not aware of. So the problem isn't the men, the problem is her. Here's the issue. Men as a group were done with her after David. When we saw how poisonous she really was, like, oh, yeah. So what she's been hoping for is to find a sucker. And the problem is she's too famous for that. So the truth of the matter is the game was over a decade ago. She's made a few more films. She's done a few more covers. You put on a bikini, which doesn't matter. What are we going to do with a 50-year-old? At the end of the day, we're men. We're not going to sit here and, well, most of us ain't going to sit here and rub ourselves down looking at your picture. We have to take the woman. What is a man going to do with a 50-year-old woman who is starting from zero? Let me remind everyone one more time. What is a man going to do with a 50-year-old woman who is starting from zero? She's got no credibility with you. She's built up no credit. She's built up no equity. She's meeting you right off the street, expecting you to be her new peak value protector and provider. She's 50. So it's one thing if you've known her for 10 or 15 years. It's another thing if y'all just met. It's like, oh, she's starting from zero. Baby, you ain't got no equity with me. You had equity with Eric Benet and David Justice and the Spanish dude and the white dude. You had equity with them. You don't have any with me. You're going to have to build that at 50. And there, literally every other female I can talk to younger than you is going to be able to beat you. By the time you have equity with me, you're going to be 54. So I'm going to be with a 54-year-old pretending that she's a 24-year-old? Come on now. This is a lie that women tell themselves. Oh, Nicole Murphy looks good for her age. The hell she does. She is caked on with makeup, drawn on eyebrows, every damn thing else. None of us have ever seen what that woman looks like fresh out the bed in the mornings. She probably looks like she's closer to 60. And women regurgitate that myth because women need it to be true. Y'all need to listen to what we say. Halle is 50. We can't, what are we going to invest in her for? What's the return on the investment in a 50-year-old that I just met? What am I going to get for this? I can tell you what she's going to get. What do I get? There are just other places where you will be able to get much higher return on your investment. In Halle's case, you get a run-through actress. The game has been over. We just don't coach it in the right terms. The game has been over. The game has been over for Britney Spears. The game has been over for Janet Jackson. The game has been over for Rihanna. The game has been over for a bunch of them. Beyonce was one of the few intelligent ones who she cashed out. She didn't wait till the damn game was over. She cashed out. While telling all the other women not to do that. And celebrating with them. All my single ladies while she's sitting up here signing the marriage license. So y'all don't understand, the game has been over. To all the women listening to me right now, if you made it to the age of 30 and you ain't found him yet, the game is pretty much over because the odds against you are about to become so astronomical. And if you're dumb enough and arrogant enough and narcissistic enough to believe that you need to have a baby with no man, just understand, okay, all you're really doing is saying, well, hell, if I'm going to screw up my life, I might as well screw it into the ground. Because that will guarantee that you don't get anything. And there are a bunch of women out here today who are broken. If y'all want to know why we have the obesity epidemic that we do among black women today, is because their psyches are broken. Because they were telling themselves that this wasn't the plan. It was going to go so much different. And when that never occurred, their psyches broke. And what they did was they turned it inward. So they start indulging. So they start trying to fill in the gaps where a man is supposed to be. So they take up an illicit relationship with Baskin Robbins. They take up an illicit relationship with romance novels, with pets, with children, with a job. You're trying to fill the void where a man is supposed to be. We are unique. We are indispensable. We're irreplaceable. The game is already over. Ladies, if you are in your 30s, last call. Last call. It is time. If you have any winnings to take off the table, it is time to cash them in and leave. Do not return to the roulette wheel. Don't walk back in there. Because if you do, you will. I'm angling. Let me go see if I can get a bigger, better deal. With absolutely no acknowledgement of the fact that you don't have the leverage you used to have. You don't have the options you used to have. And right now, 90% of them are going to wind up telling everybody everything's okay. In reality, it isn't. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get a caller from area code 504. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Angela, calling from New Orleans.
Angela from New Orleans. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask you a question. I wanted to ask you, well, you pretty much said it, but do you believe that there is a mental illness, like, in the black community?
Yes, just not the way that people think of it. But yes, there is certainly emotional, I would phrase it more as disorder. And disorders are something that can be put in a place under certain conditions. So yes, there is we're dealing with a large scale disorder. Sure.
Yes, sir. I would agree. And I believe that that's a large, reason why a lot of us, are going through a lot of the disparaging, things that we're going through. Not taking away, white supremacy, racism, because that's the number one thing. However, we are going through a lot of things, but I do believe that, a lot of black women have lowered themselves. We've lowered ourselves down, because I'm a part of the community, but we've lowered ourselves to, the lowest denominator. And I feel that, we need to pick ourselves up and do better. And once we do that, I feel that, the black men.
Here's the issue, okay?
Yes,
the
sir.
issue is black women as a group, and this includes you, Angela. Black women
Yes,
as a
sir.
group, it's very nice for you all to tell us, here's the problem. That's like white people coming to talk to black folk about racism. That doesn't help anything. White folk need to go back to other white people and reform other white people about racism. Not inform, but reform. And black women need to talk amongst each other and have a acknowledgement of how bad the situation really is, that pretty much everything that they've been saying is wrong, but black women as a group have refused to check each other. And the reason that they refuse to check each other and make it a daily practice of checking each other is because you all realize that you become the queens of the landfill. Rather than be the queens of a kingdom, you've instead become the queens of the landfill. And they're like, okay, well, it's a cesspool, but at least I'm in charge. And that's the problem. That's the problem that we run. Okay, well, here's the problem. You say those words, but these so-called black women who agree with us, they go back to work at their jobs, they get on the internet on Facebook, and then they don't say anything to other black women. So they'll come to a place like this, and they'll sit there and stamp their feet and clap their hands and everything else. But when they get around other black women, they get silent. Around their sisters, their cousins, they get silent.
Agreed.
So the real issue is Angela and other black women. It's very nice to agree with us, but you're preaching to the pastors. We need, if you all really want to do something about it, rather than complaining, what needs to happen is black women as a group need to get their Scheherazade Ali on and make it their mission to do that. Because there should be 3 or 4 female. Okay, there should be 3 or 4 female Jason Blacks out there already, and there aren't.
Yes, sir.
As soon as y'all get the microphone, you change the subject to something else.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying, and I wanted to just make a quick point about Aisha Curry. I don't agree with what she's doing and how she's doing it because of the fact that she is a mom and she is a wife. I totally wouldn't do anything like that. I think that it's degrading because she's a wife, and I feel like if you're going to do stuff like that, why be married in the first place? You know, if she's feeling
because there's a financial
bored,
incentive.
Quote unquote, whatever
because there's a financial and social
know.
incentive for doing so. Marriage is a benefit to women. It is a cost to men. I'll explain that here in a moment. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Marriage is a benefit to women. That is why men control access to it. Don't ask the rest of these manosphere nitwits, high-value posers, and red pill rejects. They don't understand this. You all are going to hear this for the first time now. Sex is a benefit to men, but because it is so readily available and so demanded from women, it's not a benefit to the women. Because sex is a concrete benefit to men, it isn't a concrete benefit to women in the same way. Marriage is a concrete benefit to women, but it is not a concrete benefit to men. So this is why women may control access to sex, but men control access to marriage because marriage is an ongoing commitment to provide and protect and facilitate for the woman, not for the man. This is something that will be binding, but the majority of the liability is then going to fall on the man. And because of that, you have to understand, men can be more capricious about sex. If things go wrong during sex, she gets pregnant. She's got to deal with morning sickness. She's got to deal, with taking vitamins and weight gain and all the rest of that. She's going to have to deal with that, not you. So if sex happens and things go sideways, she will be carrying the liability. No matter how supportive you are, you're supportive safely in your own body. And so she's absorbing the liability. Therefore, since most of the liability is on her for sex, she's going to be a little more judgmental if she's halfway intelligent. But where men are concerned when it comes to marriage, once again, now it's flipped. Men are capricious about marriage because we're not going to be absorbing all the liability if things go wrong. Women are more capricious about sex because she knows she's got protections. If the marriage goes bad, then she can check out with the full backing of the state. she's got protections. Men have to take it much more seriously. So why would she sit here and blow the marriage up? Because what's the penalty for her if she does? Now, we all understand there will be a penalty, yeah, but she's not going to pay that for a while. She can wreck the family, and then she's going to have a bunch of publications sit out here and defend that. Well, Jason, what the hell are you talking about? Publications that will defend that. Case in point. Want to talk about this here tonight. Now, you all remember I was talking about this here earlier. And for those of you who are joining us late, this is why you shouldn't join us late. I already explained how Russell Wilson saying that losing Ciara is his biggest fear ties into the nonsense that Stephen Curry is allowing his wife to currently exhibit to the world. But if you want to know why these things turn out like this is why they turn out like this right here. This is why. Right here. Now, this is Women's Health, a magazine dedicated to women and women's health. Now, you all know I've taught you all about the, quote, body language of Russell Wilson all this time. I've taught you all about this. And yet, take a look at what's being told to women. Take a look at what women are being told by a black female here. Judging by that name, doesn't sound like a descendant of American slaves, but all right. But take a look at what women are being told about Russell Wilson and Ciara. Now, you all know what we as the men have been saying since day one. But take a look at what women are being told. Take a look at what's being said to them, and you tell me, is this anywhere on the same planet as what men have been saying? She's saying diametrically the opposite of what we've been saying the whole time. Taking a look at these pictures, she looked at this picture and said that this is proof that their relationship's gonna last. It looks like Russell is photobombing Ciara. He is literally behind her hair. He's literally having to lean in like a little child, imposing himself in her space. She's not the one demanding or inviting his presence. He's the one trying to impose and invade on hers. And the black female writer of this article is telling you that what you see on your screen is an expression of a relationship that's going to last strictly through body language. And you can so very clearly see he's treating her like one of her fans. Once again, you're trying too damn hard. Once again, does she even look like he's there? It looks like he was photoshopped into the pictures. It doesn't even look like they were literally in the same place at the time that they took the pictures. And this woman who wrote this article is this picture right here. She looks like it's fan appreciation night. She looks like she's like, oh, this is so awkward. This picture right here is so cringe. And the whole night she was like that. She had her back turned. It was like it was her night and he's getting in the way. You know why? Because that's literally the way she feels. This is my night. This is for me. You're in my way. This will be looking at me. You're getting in the way of all the attention I'm supposed to be getting. Take a look at that. She's literally trying to tell you that what you see here is her wanting to be there when she's not even looking. If you go take a look at all the pictures from that night in particular, they're all similar. At no time is she trying to get with him. It's like he's just one of her fans and he's desperately hanging on for dear life. One of the only times that it looks like she actually might want something and she looks like, just in case they start shooting, you're my human shield. You never, by the way, did you ever see any pictures like this with Future? By the way, did you ever see any pictures like that? Nope. Okay. Once again, there you go. Now this picture right here, he looks like he's straight intruding and she's telling you that this is proof Yeah, the body language. As men, we all saw this body language, and we were all saying the same thing. Hell, she don't really... Dude, looks like you're a fan. It doesn't look like you're a husband. And this is the advice that women are getting. If you want to know why it is that Aisha Curry thinks she can do the stuff she does and other women out here are repeating it and saying it's nonsense, if you want to know why, this is why. Because everywhere they go, they have a media apparatus, a government complex, social circles that reinforce all of these fallacies over and over and over and over again, and tell them to utterly deny reality, and most importantly, don't listen to the men around you. Don't actually ask a man what he thinks of this. They don't know what they're talking about. These are the men you're going to have to approach, but they're telling you that, the men don't know what they want. Yeah, you all thought you were told that women don't know what they want. No, they're telling you men don't know what they want. The men don't actually know what they're looking for. That's what she's telling you. That's what they're saying. That we don't actually know. Caller from area code 910. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is David, calling from Wilmington, North Carolina.
David from Wilmington, North Carolina. What's on your mind?
What I just wanted to say, I love your show. I mean, not your show, but your content and your informative.
Okay, brother, calm down. It sounds like you are hyperventilating. Calm down. This ain't The Price is Right. I don't have a showcase showdown. There are no prizes that you win. So take a moment now. Compose yourself. All right, give it a shot.
Okay. What I wanted to say was the women today are way off base with everything because of what society says they need to do. Well, what I wanted to say is this. Back in about 1980, when Julius Erving, Dr. J, was playing basketball, his wife, they interviewed her, and they asked her, what's most important in your life? Instead of saying her kids or anything, she said her husband was number one in her life. And then they said, well, what about your kids? She said, my husband is number one in my life. If I take care of my husband, I do everything for my husband, he's fine, the kids are fine, I'm fine. And that's the way women need to think today, is taking care of their husbands, and everything else will work out fine. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight here. Please do give us a call again. As long as you ain't hyperventilating, that's a very good thing to keep in mind there as well. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to tonight's program on Streamlabs, PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat. Thank you very much for doing that. We appreciate your support on tonight's program. M. Twyman II, thank you very much. John Scott and my girl Janisa, thank you very much as well. I appreciate all of you supporting tonight's program. And most importantly, everybody listening here live, make sure you share. Likes are nice, but shares are more important. YouTube has a shadow banned because this type of commentary, the other folks rip off what we say, and YouTube doesn't want it to be straight and unfiltered. They want it to be corrupted and messed up by people looking for a TV show. We're not doing that here. So understand, they bury us because they fear us. You can help us overcome that. Share this program. That's how we overcome them shadow banning us. Let me get caller from area code 510. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Darrell from Oakland, California.
Darrell from Oakland. What's on your mind?
Basically, man, I just want to get back to the point. It seems like it's just common sense when it comes to us men. You know, somehow, some way, we seem not to see what's going on in front of us. If he does recognize what's going on, it's like, look what you're doing to our culture now, man. You got a wife sitting on side of you with her legs open in front of the whole world now. So I don't know what we're really looking at or what we're going through, but I do see it's a whole nother change in this generation now, sir. I was raised under a 78-year-old woman, and I hear sometimes how you talk about the elders, but this woman had elegancy, and she knew how to handle it. Well, she knew how to be herself in the world now today. I just want to say to you guys, man, just see what's going on and put it together in your own brain, because it seemed like common sense to me. And be one as well.
Black First, brother, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 819. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller from 819, last try. You're on live. Okay, caller from 819 has been abducted. Caller from area code 904. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, hello, Jason. My name is Mike from Jacksonville.
Mike from Jacksonville. What's on your
I have
mind?
some questions for you. Oh, what did you say, sir?
Okay, Mike, wake up. What is on your mind?
Yeah, what's on my mind is that I have some questions for you, but this program kind of really gets to what I was thinking about as far
Okay,
as
Mike,
on with me.
okay, next words out of your mouth. What is your question? No preface, just ask your question.
Okay. Basically, my ex-wife is trying to come back, and I'm trying to figure out if it's really she's trying to come back to me because of the situation, and I think my mind is kind of clouded because of the children that we have together, and she's trying to come back after less than a year of us being divorced from each other.
Okay.
And I wanted to
Stop.
see
Stop.
what your perspective
Okay,
is on that.
I've heard enough. How old are you and how old is she?
I'm 40 years old and she's 37.
Okay.
And we got
Okay,
got
Mike,
divorced
I didn't ask
literally last year.
you anything else, sir. I didn't ask that. I'll ask you for only the things I need to know. How long were you married?
We were married for 3.5 years before
Okay.
we got separated.
Not very long. When did you get separated?
2019.
Okay. And why did you get separated? And don't lie.
There was some infidelity on my part. That was the last straw with her, and she just left.
How many times
And,
did you sleep with other
basically we were-
chicks?
You said how many times what?
Open your ears. How many times did you sleep with other women?
I did a few times.
Okay.
Yes, I did about 3 times, but she didn't catch me on no other. She only caught me
Okay,
on one.
question. Why did you do that?
We were having arguments. We weren't getting together. We weren't getting along.
Nonsense.
She was withholding sex. And
Nonsense.
Yeah, we were getting real bad arguments.
Okay. Nonsense.
And, to the
That's
point
not, a man don't cheat on his woman because they had an argument. If you don't want the chick anymore, there's ways of dealing with that. There's something else. There's another
when
issue
I started
going on
cheating
there.
is when she started withholding sex. That's when I started cheating.
Okay, you said y'all only married for what, 3 years?
3.5 years. We had 2 children in 3.5 years.
Okay, you were only married for 3.5 years, dude.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. No, that don't even sound right. The chick, did you know any of these chicks you cheated on her with before you all got married?
No, I didn't know.
That doesn't sound right either. That doesn't sound
No, I
right.
didn't know.
That doesn't sound right. Sounds like you already knew them. Is this your first wife?
Yeah, it's my first wife. It's my first wife.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember me, but I was the gentleman that called you and said I didn't feel you gave me some great advice about getting out of the headspace, taking more vacations, and
I'm glad to
working
hear.
on myself more.
I'm glad to hear that. But what I will say here is that those explanations do not sound right. I'm pretty sure if I go back over the chronology of it, I will find some overlap because you never would have felt confident enough to do that otherwise. Let me ask you a different question. How much does your ex-wife weigh when you were married?
She was 5'8". She might have been about like 140, 160, somewhere in between there.
5'8" and
She
140.
was a track star.
Okay, that doesn't tell me what she was like when you got married. She didn't put on any weight after having those kids?
Oh yeah, she did. Now she
Okay, that was my
She
point.
went to like 190.
Okay, that was my point, sir. So what you're saying is she started putting on weight. Because you just tried to characterize it as if she didn't. You told me about when she was 140. Then now you're telling me she put on 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was literally getting to that. By the way, folks, people, I'm not guessing my way through this. Even if my callers don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, I know. So what you're telling me, you married her for a reason. And men don't marry women for sex. Let's be very, very clear about that. We don't marry women for sex. We can get sex anywhere. If a woman is displeasing us, the sex is letting us know you're trying to be openly hostile. But a man will work for a woman like Jacob's labors. We will work for a woman and never have sex with her. That's not what attracted us to her. Sex is a given. So there's other issues. Now, what was the number one reason Okay, Mike, you are too eager to talk, sir. You're way too eager to talk.
Sure.
What was the reason you all were arguing? The number one reason.
Oh, man, she used to stress me out and all this, like arguments.
Okay, you're repeating yourself. You're repeating yourself. Jason's rude to callers because they sit up and repeat themselves. Sir, last try. What was the number one issue?
When it came.
What was the number one issue you two were arguing about?
It was mostly from on my end. It was mostly the disrespect, the way she would talk to me and stuff, and also another one is her debt and her lack of trying to get rid of debt. And as I tried to work things through to pay off these bills to get us out of this headspace, because I thought she really lied to me before she even got married to me. And I found out a lot of things after the fact, after I got married, and I ain't gonna say I was kind of bitter.
Okay, but here's the issue. Okay. The issue is that Mike met a chick who was a size 6 or 8. She was probably the sexiest thing he ever had the opportunity to get next to. What did you do for a living 6 years ago, Mike?
What I'm doing now, AC. Now I currently own my own business now.
Okay.
But before then, when I met her, I was still with
yeah, you didn't own it then, so you were a HVAC technician?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and about how much were you making as an HVAC technician, Mike?
I was making about a little bit over 50.
Okay. So you were at the national.
When we first met each other.
Okay, you were at the national median.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what did she do for a living when you met her?
She was a school teacher.
So she was probably making about 50, based on where you all are at. She was probably making about $50,000 a year, also.
She made less, a lot less. I kind of encouraged her to be an assistant principal, and she got over 50. And
okay, that doesn't sound quite right. They generally take care of them better than that. What state were you all in at the time?
Oh, we're in Florida. We're in Jacksonville, Florida.
That's what I'm saying. You were in Florida then too. That doesn't sound quite right unless she was part-time or something, dude. That doesn't sound a lot less.
They got like a pay scale. They got a pay scale, and they can't go because they're part of the union, one of the very few unions, and then they only give them a certain amount of percentage. And I think when I met her, she was on her 10th year, and that's where her income was at. But then she refused to go higher as far as going into administration because she didn't want the responsibility.
Well, I can understand a part of that, but here's the issue. What was she doing for a living when you met her?
She was a regular school teacher in Duval.
Okay. So understand, you knew what she was and you knew what she was making when you met her. What kind of car did she drive when you met her?
Toyota Camry.
Was it a new Camry or a used Camry?
No, it was old school. It was a college car.
Okay, so
so
you married this woman for her, is what you did. That was what you married. You married her for her.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so that was all you were going to get from this transaction. you have got a 30-something-year-old school teacher making whatever the scale is in Florida for where she was, driving a used Toyota Camry. That's what you got. And you knew this. Now, as far as any debts she had or whatever, fellas, y'all got to do your due diligence. A lot of y'all put a whole lot more thought into the car you bought than the woman you're laying up with. You know more about the car, you know more about your damn sports team in your city than you do about the woman you're laying up with. So, brother, what you're saying is we didn't do our due diligence. And whatever whatever figure she had and whatever shape she had on her was enough to get you to overlook all of that and just say, screw it, let me hurry up and sign on the dotted line. And you got it.
There was more than how she looked. It was about the conversation and.
Okay, sir.
This
is what I mean right here. He's eager to talk. Very eager.
All right.
None of that matters. The game she was spitting when you met her, those were things she had, not things you had. And you were willing to make a protector and provider commitment under those circumstances and to hurry up and get her pregnant. And then later you got upset because, well, damn, she's a bill. Well, yeah, she is. But you knew that when you met her. She didn't sneak nothing in on you. She's not financially responsible. Okay, then make her quit her job. She was already inclined to do that. Why did you not have her quit her job?
Well, since listening to you, I did it the wrong way, but I tried to get her to be more responsible. I paid
Correct.
all the bills,
Okay, but that's not gonna work. But that's not okay, fellas. I want y'all to listen because this guy right here is the epitome of doing it wrong. If your woman is irresponsible with money and you're married to her, to have her quit her job. You know why? Because if you're the only income coming in the house, she can't sneak off and spend no money without your permission.
That's true.
This guy's sitting up here trying to get her to be co-producer and be a co-pilot and see what happened. Even though he was making more money than her, she saw that as her insurance policy, and this will allow me to subvert and challenge your authority. And you allowed that to stay there, and then got children with her, and then the cancer metastasized. Now, if you were paying all the bills, then she would have to come to you, and that's a wrap. Now we're not searching for anything. But you wanted a partner. You wanted a co-pilot. And you saw the peril of trying to empower a co-pilot. You try to go 50-50, then you get upset when she wants to tell you which 50 she's going to do today. And it alternates from day to day, because she's a female, so she's going to alternate it to whatever she wants it to be from day to day. Ooh, Jason, we arguing. I imagine you are. I also imagine you're losing. Because she can make a whole lot more trouble. So, what do you do about it today? Dude, she's in her late 30s. Now, what I'm going to do right now is lay down some stone cold ass game. I'm very glad you came in here tonight. Maybe Stephen Curry will be listening. Regardless of anything else, this woman was a disciplinary problem. How do you deal with that? Brother, you got away from that disciplinary problem. Why the hell are you trying to go back? Why are you trying to leave the door open for that? And this is why I know you jumped. Whatever she looked like must have really lit something for you, because you're having an intrinsic primal reaction. And you're treating this like this is the last chick on earth. You treated it like it then, and you're treating it like it now. So you're a guy who doesn't have a lot of experience with females. You don't have a lot of experience, a lot of interaction. You don't have a big track record with it. And so you're treating her like she's the only damn one. Why? Because you haven't established to yourself that you can pull. Now, once you actually establish to yourself and gain the confidence that you can pull, you'll be okay. Because you were laying up with other females, but clearly they wasn't nothing to write home about because you didn't stick with none of them. So clearly there wasn't nothing great going on. There was nothing great going on over there. You've been divorced from this woman. I mean, are you two actually divorced, or are y'all still, quote, separated?
No, we're completely divorced.
Okay. Well, okay. So have you taken up with one of your side chicks you were messing with? Have you taken up with one of them?
No, I didn't take over. I got a
Okay,
new chick.
okay,
I
thank
only
you.
got-
So even the females you were laying up with, you didn't even do like Wendy Williams' husband. You didn't even get a female who was suitable to replace the wife. You just got a chick you could lay up with, and that's it. So they clearly wasn't valuing you, and even if you valued them, clearly it wasn't that serious because you didn't want to keep any of them. So it would be different if you had upgraded after your wife, but you ain't gone nowhere.
No, I've been literally just dating. I just date when I want, and I haven't been trying to commit to any woman.
Okay, and that's perfectly
I found some
okay.
suitable
If
ones,
that
but
is
I
what
just-
you want to do, then you need to stay committed to that decision. But where your ex-wife is concerned,
90 seconds.
I wouldn't invite that back in. If you want to lay up with her, go ahead. She ain't got no options.
Yeah, she told me she wanted to be my side chick. That's what she told me.
Okay,
She told
well,
me if we ain't married, she wants to be right there. And I'm like,
All right.
I don't know if I really want you.
Sure you can.
In my
She's
bed again, you know?
Yeah, she's reliable, but she needs to have her own place. She don't need to be at yours. She needs to have her own place. She needs to have her own place to live at, and you can just tiptoe through when you come through, or whatever. But if she wants to do that, that's perfectly fine. But there is no wife position for her. She had her shot with that. What she did before, she'll do again. When women attempt to weaponize sex, you don't ignore that. You don't stick with a woman who's going to marry you and then weaponize sex. We don't do that. So if she's done that before, she'll do it again. You want to make sure that you're in a position where if she decides she wants to act funny like that again, she's not sitting someplace where you've made a financial commitment. You can just get up and walk. So there's no sense in her asking what's the destination. You called me up asking about the destination, what to do. Brother, we already at the destination. We here. This is it. If she was really that good, that's okay. Other than that, there's no reason for this discussion to even take place.
10 seconds.
If she was really dynamite like that, then, just put her on your damn rotation. And that's it. If one of the other broads don't answer the phone on Friday, she can get the nod. But then that's it. But she's been demoted. I'm gonna have to teach you fellas about the merits of understanding that a woman's got rank in your life. And understand, ladies, we're gonna start teaching the fellas about giving y'all a demotion. You're not in the CEO position anymore. You're not a 5-star general. I'm busting you down to a captain or a lieutenant. You were a 5-star general. I'm busting you down to a brigadier. I'm busting you down. You're getting demoted. You're about to lose your rank. And as men, y'all got to understand that now you got your own business, dude. I mean, what happened is she tried to act funny. She went back out in the sexual marketplace. And what she got, like 2 kids now?
Well, 2 for me. Yeah.
Okay, brother, that's a yes. Good grief. You're over there playing with that box of Nabisco. Knock it off. So your chick is out here. She got 2 kids. It's the year 2021. Pandemics is all over the place. She's looking for a producer. She in Florida. Jacksonville is blowing up. I know about Jacksonville Beach. It's blowing up. The whole damn state's blowing up. Interstate 10 crossing over from Alabama to Florida. They got a big ass subdivision that they're building right on the other side of the state line. That just shows you any square patch of dirt people can get in Florida, they're trying to get it now. So that Panhandle area has been the last thing that anybody wants to invest in. I know this is real inside baseball. That Panhandle area has really been the last thing that anybody wants to invest in. But where Interstate 95 and 10 and 75 and all that meet there in Jacksonville, when you branch off and everything. Thank you very much. When you branch off right there and whatnot, everybody's trying to get their piece of the pie of that. And so there's a lot. Now they're starting to get a lot of that money and investment, a lot of that vibe that has been down there in southern Florida. Now northern Florida and that Panhandle starting to get that now. Okay, she's like in her 30s. She's looking at herself in the mirror. Baby, you 190 pounds. You done put on 40, 50 pounds since this man met you. You got 2 kids. Ain't no nigga really lined up at this point right now to change your life. At 37, you're in a state where the dudes with their paper straight are looking for 20-year-olds and 24-year-olds. They ain't looking for a 37-year-old with 2 kids to transform her life. She has overestimated her redemption value in the marketplace. Jacksonville is only affordable relative to the rest of Florida. Jacksonville is expensive. Relative to the Carolinas, Southern Georgia, Alabama. So no, Jacksonville is affordable by Florida standards. Right on the other side of the state line, it isn't. But the bottom line, brother, is she ain't got no options. She is what she is. That's it. So you got all the leverage. She can go lay up with some other dude, but let's just be very, very clear. When she says your side chick, she's talking about a side chick who can bum $100 off you every once in a while. She is not just looking to lay up. She's looking to get some supplemental benefits, because is she still working as a teacher?
Yeah, she's assistant principal now.
Okay. How much is she making as an assistant principal?
Oh, go ahead.
And how much is she making as assistant principal? A job she didn't even want because she didn't want administrative. So how much is she making now?
About 56.
All right. So basically she is caught up to where you were when y'all met.
Yeah.
In $2021.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay. So she wants, don't be fooled. Your life has progressed. You've gone from being a worker to being an owner. And she doesn't have anybody else in that position offering anything. So, flex the advantage. That's it. She's on the outside looking in. If you want to go get some of that, secondhand sexual access, I guess that's up to you if you're so inclined. If you are not, brother, count it as a win and keep it pushing. If you are, make sure she is kept at a distance where she cannot disrupt and destroy what you're doing. But the bottom line is she had her chance. When she was much younger, she had her chance. If she really valued it, she would have done differently. If she comes back today, y'all would be married for all of 90 days before she's back at it again.
Yeah, I got a feeling she'll be able to do some bad
It's
stuff.
not a feeling, brother. She showed you what she was before. If you get married again, it's going to be the same old same. You already have, brother, you're already getting the milk for free. Why do you need to buy the cow again? Tell me what it is you want from her that you can't get right now.
Well, my concern...
Okay, that was a question.
Yeah, you're right.
That was a question. Tell me what it is that you want to get from her. What can you get from her marrying her again that you can't get from her right now, the way things are right now?
Yeah, there's nothing.
If you want her to cook for you, will she do that today?
She didn't even want to cook when I was married to her. So.
Okay, I asked about today, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't sound okay. He's like, well, Jason, she don't really cook like that. Okay, well, fine. That's it. Well, whatever she was doing with y'all when y'all were married, is there anything that you can't get? Is there any part of that you can't get now?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, so anything that if there was anything that you wanted while you all were married, you got access to it now. Why do you need to give more? See, women are smarter than us. They give the bare minimum to get the maximum. Men always try to figure out how we can get the maximum, give the maximum, and then try to get whatever crumbs they flick off the table. You've already got all the advantages. You got all the leverage. You don't need to do any extra. But you're nostalgic and you're pining because you have not gone out there and rebuilt yourself and shown yourself that you got options, which is why you're struggling with this decision, because she was the one who actually got in. And now, instead of you expanding your options, you're trying to figure out how to rearrange your life again because she's what's familiar. You need to go out there and get your weight up so you can get familiar with some other females, some better quality females who are actually worthy of the investment. But if she wanted to self-destruct, she told herself she could do better. Everybody been warning them for years, baby, there's not better out there. It's cheaper to keep him. She didn't think fat meat was greasy. Now she's slipping and sliding all over the bacon. Game over. At this point right now, she gets whatever you give.
Yeah, my concern was her because I didn't want what she's going through to affect my children, because I have a 4-year-old and 2-year-old with her, and I didn't want her to take it out on my own children because I don't want to get back with her,
Okay, I don't know what
And
take it out on your
she was gonna
children
give me
means.
trouble.
I don't know what take it out on your children means, but if you're concerned about that, then go get full custody.
That's true.
I don't want to hear anything from you dudes out here who got kids by women and whatnot complaining about what you think is going on over there. Y'all niggas in the 21st century need to go get custody of your kids. Because that's why these single moms be running y'all, because they know you're not going to fight for custody. That's why I don't have sympathy for most of these dudes out here, because I know they're not going to fight. They don't fight for custody of their kids. And the women know that. So if that is a legitimate concern, I don't want to hear it if you're not trying to get custody. And in her position, there's nothing she can do to really fight that. There's nothing she can do to really fight that. And you know it. But you're not going to. Now, notice he got real meepish and quiet when I said that. He doesn't really want custody of the kids. Now, that he doesn't really want that.
Yeah, I'm cool with shared custody.
Yeah, they talk big. These niggas today talk big about worrying about what women are gonna do with their kids. Right up until you tell them, you know what, that's a great idea. Why don't we give you custody? Oh, wait, now, hold on a second. I ain't say all the deal. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So, like I say, no, just leave them in her hands, and whatever she gonna do to them when they're telling you to kiss their ass to your face when they're 10 years old. Just remember, hey, you had better things to do. Now, if you was halfway smart, what you would do is go get you another female who's about that business, and then go get your kids and whatnot, and then go leave this assistant principal to her own devices. But the bottom line for you is you've already been on that Ferris wheel. There's no reason to jump on the same ride twice. It's not going to be more enjoyable the second time around. The ride is just 5 years older now with a lot more wear and tear, and there have been some other niggas done floated through the house since then. The ride is not going to be better today than it was 5 years ago. There's no reason to do that. There's no reason to do that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jason. This is very good. I just wanted a second opinion on this, so honest opinion on this. Cause
you're already in a good spot. There's nothing you can get from her now that you couldn't get when you were married. There's nothing you can get from her married that you can't get from her now. You call all the shots. You're holding all the cards. There's no reason for you to do more. That's vestiges of when she was your woman. She's not your woman anymore. So stop treating her like that. Because understand, women are good about that. When you're not their man anymore, oh, they don't want to answer the phone. They want to show their ass. Men sit up here and be like beat puppies. They can abuse you as much as they want, and then when they get ready to come back to you, you still sitting there. They know how to do that. They don't respect you for doing that. Let her know that, oh, no, I was serious in what I said. Remember, respect and liked are two different things. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 480. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, my name's Phil. I'm calling from Texas.
All right, Bill, where at in Texas?
Hey, I'm from Houston.
All right, what's on your mind?
Hey, so quick question. So kind of what the gentleman said before, I was in the military, man, met my wife. She wasn't working. She had kids before. I knew she was just going to be a stay-at-home type, so I kind of accepted that. Worked up, got some really good jobs with the government when I got out, making about $180 a year. Stuff happened. Kids got taken away, and then my wife, while I was in jail, you know, she went out and tried to explore the market and everything, just like you said.
Oh, wait. Back up. First of all, turn off your speakers. What's up with you people? Turn off your speakers, y'all, when y'all call in.
No. Oh, okay. My speaker off. Let me
rewind there for just a moment, because I want to make sure I heard that correctly there. Where were you at the time?
I was in jail.
Oh, okay. Did y'all notice he tried to blaze by that real quick? Yeah, and I was in jail, and she was just go back to the marketplace. Whoa, wait, hold on. You just dropped a major little piece right there, and then just kept on walking. So let's back on up and get that one again. What was you doing in jail?
Had to do with the kids, man. I had some PTSD from my deployments and stuff. You know, went a little far, and the kids got taken.
Okay. The kids got taken.
So, you know, we lost the kids. Yeah, so we lost the kids, man. So while I was in jail, she went out, exploring, like, openly, like, disrespecting me and everything, telling me on the phone and all that. Got out. I made the choice to get back with her because I figured, hey, I did my dirt. She did hers. And while I was there, I came to the conclusion that women ain't shit. So, I had reason when I thought about everything. So now I just had a question. It's like now I bettered myself. I run my own business now. I pull in a good amount of money a month, about $18,000 a month, and I'm really high profile now.
Okay.
I travel.
Let me
me
explain something to you all. Let me explain something to you all. I'm not really a fan of men going around saying what women aren't. I'm not really a fan of that. I'm not one of these MGTOW red pill losers. And this is why I'm not a member of the manosphere. The manosphere is a winosphere. I don't like dudes going around talking about how women ain't this or women ain't that. I don't like that. And the reason why is because the guys who say that kind of stuff don't see themselves. So often they are just a reflection of the very women that they take up with. And they become completely deflective. They're pointing fingers at the women. And it's like, whoa, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. It's not like you all straight and everything. So a chick who's straight, is she really going to gravitate to you? Is a woman who's straight really going to gravitate to you? But with Jason, my money is straight. Yeah, Stephen Curry's money is straight too. Just because our money is straight don't mean we are. Truth be told. Truth be told. Just because our money is straight doesn't mean we are. And too often we make it one-dimensional because we want it to be easy. But I'm just telling you that's not correct there. The other thing is, and I give military dudes a hard time and whatnot, and it's not because I have anything against the military necessarily. I'm just saying that the military, I'm being honest about it, is a specific type of environment that either attracts or cultivates a specific type of person. It's one of the only jobs on earth you can have that you lose all your rights. They become your parents. They've got legal jurisdiction over you. Legal authority over you. So, if I'm hearing this about these women, I gotta take a look at the guy and be like, okay, what was your situation like exactly? Because a woman, were you in a position where your woman's going to get in line? Or are you one of these military dudes who's doing what these military dudes tend to do? Is like, hey, Uncle Sam going to take care of the rest. I better get out here and just be as reckless as I want to be because I can get my head blown off in Iraq next week. And that tends to be the situation. Y'all tend to get back over here and then it's just like, hey, as long as she's got a nice ass and everything, let me enjoy myself, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. And a chick who's supposed to be a temporary stopgap instead maneuvers herself into a position of being a fixture. Now we're angry and upset because somebody who should have been given temporary papers now is on the lease. That would be the situation I'd be taking a look at. Did you have kids with her?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, I can't really sit here and say she ain't about nothing because she was good enough to get pregnant. Now, if I say that to the females, how can I not say that to the guys? Dude, she was good enough to get pregnant. If you want to know why it is there's so many silly females out here think they can get away with flagrant stuff, cats like you are what encourage them to think they can do it. Because they're like, well, don't worry. If all else fails, there's a sucker on the military base who will take me in this condition. If all else fails. And y'all guys, when y'all get in that position, y'all supposed to be the most discriminating and tend to be the least. And women run games on the military guys all the time. And then once they get done with y'all, they come out here into the civilian world and then want to continue playing that. So y'all actually make things a lot harder on the rest of us. Because every time they find an easy simp who throws out benefits with reckless abandon, that reinforces to them that, well, there's a safe space I can get away with this. If they find that there are 0 safe spaces, that changes things. That changes
quick
things.
Question though, because I put a stop to it. I started checking all that stuff, right? And then she came back with like, and now she's completely changed. Like everything's okay. I don't have to do nothing. She takes care of everything. Like a amped up version of what she was. You know what I mean? Why?
Okay, are you talking about now?
Yeah, I'm talking about after I got out of jail. I checked that I was about to leave her. All of that stuff.
Okay.
I started being straight with her, no games. And then she straight up like now she's like almost the perfect wife. You know what I mean? After like trying to shop the market and everything like that. I mean, she's fine.
Slow down. Slow down.
Okay.
What race is she?
Oh, she's Asian.
Okay. There you go. She doesn't have a bunch of Asian dudes willing to take her off the market. White dudes ain't gonna fool with her because she's been with a black male. So yeah, she's run through her options.
Right, but the thing that really just the main point of this is, I feel just like one, she disrespected by doing it in jail, but it's like she downgraded. Like she was going after dudes that were like didn't work. Or just, you know.
No,
just
she was
getting
she was getting what was on her level. You just didn't understand it at the time. So you guys tend to, especially if they're non-black females, y'all put a premium on that, and y'all gas these non-black females. For you fellas who chase interracial sexual access, they see y'all coming from a mile away. It's kind of embarrassing at the club and everything else. Y'all make a beeline for them, and y'all have gassed up all these non-black females to think that they're royalty when they come in from the black men, to the point that they think they can just talk to us any old kind of way. So for fellas like myself who are not color struck, they'll try to talk to me like they talk to you and whatnot. And then things will really go left. But no, y'all reinforce it in their heads. Even for the non-black females, y'all really do reinforce that. And the military guys are the absolute worst about that. But no, what she really did was she tried to figure out if this plays outside the military. And it doesn't. So she's a chick who can grab a dude in the military. She come out here into the civilian world, baby, you just another Asian broad. Now you're an Asian baby mama. And by the way, when you say Asian, let's be very, very clear. That's got to be Filipino.
Hawaiian, yeah.
Okay. So you found an Asian hood rat. It's not like you found some bougie middle-class Asian chick. You didn't find that. That's not what you got. You got a typical fly on the wall, lower tier Asian chick who knew she could pull a black dude. She's running through her sexual adventurism. The family don't want nothing to do with her because they see how bad she is. She's thotting around all over the damn place. And eventually, time ran out. How old is she now? 30 what?
35.
There you go. I mean, dude, it's not like she had some epiphany. Didn't have an epiphany. She's run out of options. She attempted to go into the marketplace and get a producer. Ain't nobody gonna break bread with her. Plenty of dudes to lay up. But as I told the caller earlier, when I told Golightly about Halle Berry and them, oh, the game is over. The game was over. How long ago did you get her pregnant?
Oh, we got 3 kids. 3 kids.
I didn't ask how many kids. I said how long ago.
Oh, 2014.
Okay. 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
So she was, as I just was about to say, she was in her late 20s. The game was over then. That was the game over. And let's be very, very clear. You got her pregnant to handcuff her. And it worked. This dude got her pregnant so he could handcuff her. So to the ladies out there and whatnot, if you all are stupid enough to allow somebody to get you pregnant, just understand you better be happy with that dude because that's the dude who has handcuffed you. That's it. These cats who know that they ain't really got a lot of pull, they stick you with a baby. Now a producer is going to steer around you with 100 miles an hour. He's not going to do anything for you, and this guy knows it. So if he can be the first one to plug you with a kid, he knows that's going to run off 80% of the men. And he knows it. He knows it. He's not worried. He's in the military. They're going to foot the bill for the children or whatever. But he doesn't have to worry about another guy getting serious about you. And this is what dudes do when they ain't got nothing to offer. They grab a chick. They in and out of trouble, in and out of jail, in and out of issues and whatnot. Yeah, hurry up and get her pregnant, because if she's pregnant, by the way, when did you go to jail, by the way?
2016.
Oh, there you go. Now, about to say the chronology, you all tell me. That's why I wanted to say it first before he gave me the dates. He got her pregnant first, then he can go in and out of jail. That's why he wasn't worried. He wasn't worried about what she was doing out here on these streets, because he knows he did not leave that hot single Asian chick he met. He left a baby mama. You're just an Asian baby mama on these streets now. He knows ain't nobody really gonna take up with you now. You're a chick with multiple kids. Okay, but you know what?
The dude she was messing with didn't want nothing to do with it.
Okay, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't respect you. I'm talking about you, dude. Okay. I don't respect that. So don't sit here and act like you getting a pat on the back from me, nigga. I'd backhand you if I was in the same room with you. I don't respect that mess. You're giving us a bad name. I'm a black man. You're out here wearing my damn uniform. Out here wasting it and thotting it up, and you think that crap's cute? That ain't cute to me. A bunch of kids raised not around their father, that's not cute to me. There's nothing cute about that. You need to go call up Kitten Hills and Donovan Dole over there. Go call up a bum nigga like him. You're around men over here. You're around men who care about their legacy. That ain't something you fool with. You sitting up here while the woman, you leaving your children in her hands, and then talking about what she couldn't do with another dude. Okay, she brought that dude around your damn kids. Those are your kids, and you sitting up here acting like they're a bunch of toys. You're as bad as the hoes are. That's your damn legacy, and you up here giggling about some other dude sitting over there. Yeah, he wasn't about nothing either. Oh, really? During your children's most formative, impressionable years. And you sitting up here giggling about it. As if that's funny. Bunch of you niggas out here as bad as these hoes are. Did you say niggas? I sure did. Y'all are as bad as these hoes out here. That's why I told y'all before with the previous caller, oh, don't look to me for sympathy for child support. These dudes need to be on child support. They need some regulation of some kind, because leave them to themselves, they're on self-destruct. And it'd be okay if you were by yourself. You have children. Now you're going to sit up here and infect and corrupt the next generation. And to you, it's all about who's got sexual access to that broad. With no real requirement of what she should be doing or what you should be doing. It's supposed to be all eyes and all concern on your legacy now, and that's the only thing you haven't talked about. Those children bear your genes, your name, and your title. And you've been sitting up here letting her run around with other dudes and whatnot and talking about, yeah, she can't go nowhere. That's not good either. You don't want a female who is with you because she doesn't have a better option. You want a female who is with you because you are the best option. Don't even try it. Don't even say it. You're the best option of all the trash that she likes to deal with. You're the best one out of all of them. But you know she don't really want to be with you. If she could get somebody better, she'd be with somebody better. And your attitude that you just expressed the other night, that's the reason why she wants something different. She was just a dumb chick who figured out the game too damn late. Now it's just too late. And that's it. She's handcuffed to this.
Divorce her?
She is handcuffed to this. Dude, I'm not telling you to do a damn thing. I'm saying you can take it however you want to, but let's just be very, very clear. That ain't cute. Yeah, she wanted to be with somebody else, but yeah, she tried to do this, that, and the other. That's not a good thing. That's bad. That's awful. She's been sitting up here running through dudes and whatnot, trying to figure out if she can do something different. Now, she might be more submissive now, but I don't know. We'll see. I certainly hope so for the sake of your children. I'm not worried about you two. The sake of your children, now I am concerned about that. But if this woman does not have genuine respect and admiration for you during these children's most formative years, that's a problem. And my problem here is your motives for having those children were absolutely despicable. Not bad, heinous, and despicable. And I cannot give the man more value than the motives he has for his legacy. Those children are supposed to be the highest priority. They're not supposed to be a tool to hold on to some chick. She's supposed to be the right one. And if she's the right one, she has a connection to you. The children are not a requirement. I have no children. Never been interested in getting back at my exes, but I could. But why? I don't have any kids. The connection is to me. I don't have to use little old slimy ass hood rat hoe tactics. That's something I expect from a female. A female knows if she has nothing else, legally obligate the guy or morally and legally obligate him through having a kid. I'm having grown ass men out here giggling and laughing on my phone about, yeah, Jason, I like using hoe tactics. You're just sitting among men and think that's going to get applause. Among men. Among females, that will get plenty of applause. That's not going to get any a cosign from men. I don't need that. That's not manly. There's nothing masculine about that. A leader doesn't handcuff a female with a child. A leader handcuffs a female with his power, wealth, influence, accomplishments, and intellect. So when she does attempt to go back out there, and the experience is raw. The experience is lame. It isn't, well, these other dudes would take me if I wasn't stuck with your kids. Because there's a solution to that too. And she's Asian. So I certainly hope things work out. I certainly hope you'll see things differently. But that's not any for the rest of your life. That ain't anything to joke about. That tells me the type of guys you've been hanging out with. And in the military, there's no shortage of them. So you're all like, Jayden, you tough in the military dudes. Yeah, because there's no shortage of this. They think this is okay. They get around other men and giggling. He thought that was all right. Nah, bro, that don't fly over here. That sure the hell doesn't. You're among men over here. You're among men. I can't respect a man who hasn't put the highest priority in his legacy. And when I'm hearing about I had kids to hold on to this chick over here, I'm like, oh, hell. So you wasn't enough? You didn't think you were enough to be able to hold on to her by yourself? You weren't enough by yourself?
Well,
okay.
I didn't say I had kids to hold on to her. You know?
But you did. You did.
All my kids happened right after my deployment. So I came home, after
okay.
a year. And
did they happen after a marriage, sir?
Yeah, I didn't have any kids with her before we got married.
Okay, because you're talking about them as if you weren't.
Oh no, we were married. We were married. We got married in 2007. So we've been married for a while.
Okay, well, your attitude about it, but you talk like a single dad. You don't talk like a husband. We might want to.
Like I said,
we might want to calibrate that.
Right. I have a business that I have trust in my kids' names. My kids have multiple citizenships because I made sure when they were born that we go somewhere to give them somewhere other options and stuff. My thing is, I just feel really disrespected because my wife lowered her standards when she went out on the market, and here I am making all this money and stuff like that. That's what it is. You know what I mean?
Okay, but what was she doing for a living when you met her?
Nothing. And
okay.
I realized that.
And
Nothing.
what? Okay. Thank you. So once again, I have another caller who has elevated a woman above himself. She wasn't doing anything. All she had to do was look cute. Well, that's great if all you want to do is marry her. Now, she needs to understand the situation that she is in. It doesn't sound like she was really digging things that much for whatever the reasons were. And this is what I was saying before. So he was talking like they weren't really together like that, because even for his attitude about her getting with him in the first place. So now he's kind of switching things up here. But no, she was not, from what you were describing there and what her behavior, no, it wasn't really like that. It really wasn't. And that's okay too. But what she was showing you is that, by the way, let me go see if I can test the waters and whatnot. And those are things to keep an eye on. But at this point right now, in her mid-30s, she's already tried it. She already tried it. That wasn't going to work. She doesn't have any more leverage. Has she put on weight?
No, she stays in shape. She tries to look good for me. She always does her hair. She like always trying to look good after me.
Well, looking good for you, looking good for you is one thing. Looking good for other people is another. Be that as it may, no, a 35-year-old chick with 3 kids. Dudes have to sit up here and step over people's Hot Wheels and Legos and toy blocks. That's an inconvenience. What she's finding out is that when women get in their 30s, like the Ebony who called in the first caller, they have free access to sex. Sex is not a provider. The only guy who was really willing to do that, he made sure to hurry up and plug you with these kids because he really wasn't sure about some things, and he wanted to make sure the other dudes didn't mess with you. And it worked. It worked.
That's spot on, dude. Shit.
Well, it worked, but I'm just telling you right now, just be careful, man. That I want everybody to understand. That's not really, you got to be careful about that. That's something to keep in mind right there. People's motives matter. People's motives. I'm going to tell you what bothers me about what I'm hearing. What bothers me about what I'm hearing is that I worry because some of the things you have said here during this call are not very laudatory of her. And you have I don't even want to say low level of contempt. You have a measured level of contempt about her. And that's something that's got my eyebrow raised. Because she's never going to stop being the mother of your children. She's never going to stop being that. That's going to be it. You might be married to her now, but she's never going to stop being the mother of your children. And my concern is about this level of contempt that I hear from you. She ain't this and that and whatnot, yeah, but what she is the mother of your children. And if y'all are married, she's still your wife. And I don't see you leading. Now, I'm just going to be straight up with you about this next part here. As a man, you got to understand that whatever happens, if you ain't around, you got to charge that to the game. Let's just be very, very clear about that. If something went down when you wasn't there, nigga, you charge that to the game. That's it. We don't sit up here and unless you've got signs that she's still pining for that, and if she does, it's time to write her off. but you don't sit up here and keep litigating that. You supposed to be all the way bossed up. That's supposed to be a mark. It's like, yeah, she thought she was gonna go out there and test the waters, and it blew up on her. Now I think what it is you're not happy because now that you've explained it, I think what you're trying to tell me is that she was sleeping with other dudes while y'all was married because you were in jail.
Pretty much.
Okay. Well, you have had 5 years now. You've had 5 years to check her off if you were going to do that. You've had 5 years and you didn't do a thing. So at some point, you're going to have to charge that to the game. And the sooner you do that, the better. The sooner you do that, the better. But let's just be clear about one more thing. How the hell you gonna be mad at her and you know the type of broad you was with? And that's the other thing right here. Y'all get mad talking about y'all was with these snake-ass females, but you know what type of broad you had? You knew she was cutthroat like that. You knew she was one of these Asian chicks. She listened to rap music and whatever else, and she talking all hood. You knew she was for the streets. But you knew that. You knew all of this. So you're going to get mad because a chick was for the streets when you, behind you, she made sure you was in jail first. She made sure you was safely locked up. But now you're going to sit up here and be mad 5 years later? For what? Because you married a chick you knew was grimy and she did some grimy stuff? Okay. 5 years later. You knew what you had. You knew the game. What a man does is he understands when it's time to keep fighting something and when the battle is already won. Is she talking to dudes now?
No.
Is there anything going on that you don't know about or something you should know about now?
Nah, she told me everything.
Okay. You got access to her cell phone?
All of that.
Okay, well, assuming she doesn't have a second one, at some point you got to charge that to the game and be like, okay, whatever was going on before I got back on the scene, that was that. Daddy's home. This was going to be. And then you have to sit on the throne and take your position and move forward. It ain't 2016 anymore. We got pandemics and Biden in the White House and every damn thing else, and you still talking about 2016. That was then. This is now. We over here now. She learned her lesson. She tried to test the waters. She realized it ain't what she thought was going to happen. It ain't going to happen. And that's it. We're done with that. She tried to prove she could be grimy. It blew up in her face. Now you just sit back and boss up, and that's the end of that. But at some point as men, we gotta be like back when I used to work with politicians, back when I used to know politicians, that was one of the things they explained that there was an election season and there was a governing season. And there's a reason why, for those of you who don't know, elections are held and then the inaugurations or the changing of the guard, when the actual election is held, if somebody is defeated in an election, then the next person takes over within 60 to 90 days. And the reason for that is because they understand that there needs to be a season for the election, and then there needs to be a season for governing. And we shouldn't allow these things to just go on and on and on, because we will never get back to governing. And the governing is more important. You're not able to lead if you are not going to be 10 toes down with her. If she's not doing nothing else, you ain't supposed to be sitting here talking about, yeah, all that grimy stuff you did and whatnot, because let's just be straight up honest about it, dude. Are you going to tell me that you ain't slept with nobody else since 2007? That woman is the only one you done slept with.
I did my dirt too, and that's the reason why we still married.
Okay, well, okay, but I'm just saying this, but then you shouldn't have nothing to say at all. It wouldn't even come up. But what I'm saying is you're saying that her griminess was worse than yours. And you're going to say right now, no, I'm not saying that. Okay, you're acting like it because you're holding a grudge about that. So your grimy was okay because folks was shooting at you. Her grimy is inexcusable. Dude, that's a done deal. That's it. But you don't have some woman next to you that you don't respect. And if you don't respect her, it should be for the right reasons. It should be for what she is doing, not for settled issues. And if that issue is really settled, you did what you did, she did what she did, because if she knows that you are holding out the option of sleeping with other women, why shouldn't she treat you the same way? It's like, hey, nigga, it's a dirty fight and both of us ain't playing fair. Because she knows you're going to stab her in the back when you get a chance. But yet she's supposed to be Susie Homemaker? No. So once you got straight, do you notice that once you got straight, she got straight? Once you showed that you wasn't on that bull crap no more, all of a sudden she started changing up. Yeah, you started showing her that you wasn't going to stab her in the back anymore. That's what changed. Now that you started to act like somebody she can trust, what do you know? She's following your lead. When you were leading dirty, she was doing dirty. You're not leading dirty anymore. What do you know? Now she's straightening up. Amazing. But if that's going to be your woman, that's going to be your woman. And you don't sit up here and talk grimy about your woman. You know why? Because how am I going to respect you and you talking grimy about her? Nigga, you married to her. How am I going to respect you and you talking grimy about your female? That's like these black women out here. How you going to talk bad about your baby daddy? Half of you had the kids with him. How you going to talk bad about your husband? That's you married to him. How you going to talk bad about this chick? That's your woman. That's your wife. That's the mother of your kids. You with her today. How am I going to sit here and give you an audience talking bad about her? And why should any other woman want to get with you? Because you're not going to treat them any differently. She'll be sitting there married to you with you out here publicly dragging her over something that really don't even matter anymore. Totally honest. Truth be told. I'm a firm believer. If you in and out of jail, if you living that life where you got jail time showing up and stuff, it's like, you can't really hold nothing against nobody if you live in that. Do you realize how wild things got to be for that to be happening? So hold people accountable when you get yourself straightened out. If we still dealing with handcuffs and rap sheets and charges and stuff, it's like, things a little bit too wild right now to be holding people to a standard. Let's get things settled down, then we can start talking about standards. But that's it, dude. You're married to this woman. She's got your kids. She ain't acting a fool now. What's the problem?
I hear you, man. I hear you.
What we gonna do? Because time is wasting. And right now, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Right now, this comes some female behavior in that you are holding. If this chick is holding you down and she's doing right, what are you gonna do? Replace her? Replace her with what? You're gonna be starting from zero all over again. If that's your woman, she's your representative. Show her the respect that you want me to show you.
Okay, all right.
Because I'm not going to respect you more than I see you respecting your woman. I'm not going to do that. Because if that's how you treat your... Understand something before I go. If that's the way you treat your woman, I know how you're going to treat me. That woman done had your kids. She fixes your meals. She washes your clothes. She holds down your house for you. And this is how you treat her? Oh, I know how you're going to treat me. This is how you're treating the person you sleep with every night? I know how you're going to treat me. So don't think I'm going to look at you doing her like that and then think you're going to do me better. No, you're not. If she's doing right, you do right by her. If you're still bothered by what happened, go seek counseling. Y'all need to go to couples therapy and get that resolved. But do not keep dragging this. Don't talk badly about that woman. What's done is done. The military should have taught you that. They take y'all from one combat zone to another. Y'all over there shooting people and every damn thing else. And they send you to another place and be like, oh, man, you shot that person over there in Fallujah. We over here now in Baghdad. Don't worry about Fallujah. Okay, you do that for them, but you come back over here and all of a sudden, we don't do that where it really matters. For a war you didn't even choose, you can put the past behind you immediately. But for the woman you did choose, you can't do that. Think about that for a little bit.
All right.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Fellas, you can't be grimy about your females like that. Just understand that you guys show them respect. If that's going to be your chick, you got to do that. Y'all, too many of y'all have become the polar opposites of these grimy females you see online and at your mama house and on the block and whatnot. We're not supposed to be like that. The men are supposed to be different. We're supposed to be different. And we're supposed to understand your woman is your representative. And you want everything about your life to be respected. You don't want your kids to be disrespected in the other company of other people. You don't want your kids to be disrespectful. Same thing with your woman. That is your representative. You cannot drag down her value and not simultaneously drag down your own. That's not the way it works. And y'all get together with these fellas who sit up here and reinforce that, and that's wrong, because then you get around people like me, and then you get around some real men and realize, oh, hell, that doesn't fly. Caller from area code 819, you're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, I'm Layla from Canada.
Okay, take your phone off the speaker, Layla.
Hi. I have headphones on.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
You're sounding kind of hollow. Can you take your headphones off? You got headphones or earbuds or something, and it sounds really hollow, so I'm having some issues hearing you. Okay. She hit the wrong button. Away she goes. Caller from area code 510. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Jason Black. This is DeAndre from the Bay Area.
DeAndre from the Bay. What's on your mind, brother?
Hey man, I've been waiting on the phone call. Really appreciate being on the channel. Man, I've been trying to think about the points, everything I've been trying to make. But the thing that I think the most about Steph Curry was most damaging about his reputation is the fact that he is, I guess, what you would consider a man who has made a name for himself. You know what I'm saying? And by him allowing her to, kind of get down like that in the streets, it makes it hard for any man to be valued. I mean, not valued. That's not the right word. It makes it hard for any man to, not have to deal with, this foolishness that these women, that they make these ideas for themselves. They feel like they can live off of their man name, and then
it's worse than that.
And go beat
it's
somebody.
Worse than that. Your woman is so obviously signaling. When a woman shakes her butt, that's a mating signal. And by putting that in public, we all know the NBA. We know what happened with LeBron, mama. Can we all just be honest with ourselves? We know what went down. And I'm just saying, so your husband, okay, but your husband works in that place. He works in that field where this is the get down. Are you acting like an NBA wife? Or are you acting like one of the NBA groupies? And it's very clear you acting like a groupie. And your woman is sitting up here signaling other dudes. What are other dudes in your field thinking when they see your wife acting like this? Is she acting like an NBA wife? Or is she acting like she's one of the groupies trying to get hit?
She might commonly get hit by one of the other NBA players if she, running around like that.
Absolutely. She's so, at this point right now, it's like, dude, what's embarrassing is she's shamelessly doing it. And you sitting up here pretending that this is somehow the two of y'all together. It's like, dude, are you this blind? But we all know the saying, loving eyes can never see. So we all know what we're looking at, and he's sitting up here acting. He's up here behaving as if it's not the case.
When you did the last broadcast, when she twerking in the kitchen. My biggest thing when I first seen that picture, I was like, who took that? Because that's in your house. And there's
that's
no
him.
way that you finna tell me that you finna take a picture of your woman doing something like that and then post it for people to see. That's not that don't go together.
He thinks
real brother and be doing that at the same time.
He thinks that he is appeasing her. He thinks that he is showing her he's not insecure.
You did mention
and
that.
he thinks he's making sure that she understands, well, it's better for her to do it with me so she ain't doing it with other people. So I'm going to indulge this. I'm going to indulge this so she can get this out of her system, and then everything will be fine. It's like, no, the more he's indulged it, the worse she's gotten. This isn't a temporary aberration that's going to subside. This is something that's been lurking, and now you're breathing life into it, and eventually she's going to act on this, and it's so obvious it's going in that direction, and every damn body is going to act like they were surprised, act like it was something else, and I've been screaming the whole time. How much more obvious can it be that she's doing this?
It's been levels to it. Them 3 pictures you showed, when I first seen it, and the only thing about it is because I believe that Steph probably is a righteous dude. You know what I'm saying? As far as we know in the media, he don't have nothing out there that would suggest for her to be trying to run around trying to seek other things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the problem.
He just sitting here watching.
But that's the problem.
It's crazy.
Okay, but understand that is actually the problem. Let's be very, very clear. For those of y'all who don't get it, that is actually the problem. He has not made it clear to Aisha that she can be replaced. He has not made it clear to her that he will do it.
Right, because I was about to say, if anything, he letting her know that shit, I ain't going nowhere.
And that's the problem. Is that she feels like it doesn't. I am free to explore this.
Same thing with Russ.
Because he's not going anywhere.
When you mentioned that part about who's going to lead, about what he feared the most, and then he turned around and corrected her and made it seem like, because she was right. Like you did say that. She was like she was trying to think logically, and then he turned around and cut her down and was like, no, my biggest fear is losing you, and that type of shit that's dangerous to us as black men. Because these women are seeing that.
Well, it's when you sit up here and make it clear to them that they are more important than you are. Once you let that cat out of the bag, that's it. And you're calling it love, but in reality, you're telling them it's unconditional. And that's wrong. Because she didn't marry you unconditionally. If Russell Wilson had been a nigga working at Five Guys, could he have gotten Ciara? Hell no. No matter if he were the same guy, if he was the same guy working at Chipotle, no, it's not going to happen. Same thing with Stephen Curry, and they need to be honest with themselves, but they're not. Because Stephen has known her since he was in high school. So he's still thinking of it in those terms. It's like, dude, at this point right now, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if there's anything we could say that would convince him otherwise, because he's going to be like, I've known her much longer than you all have, and we're on the outside looking in. We're not emotionally attached. We're on the outside looking in. We actually have a level of objectivity that he could never possibly have. So we're seeing all these signs, and whereas he's like, oh, I know her better than y'all, it's like, dude, we got distance. You don't see that you're so close to her that you don't see the situation's changed.
Yeah. That is a very heavy point, Jason, that you're making, and I wasn't thinking about it from that perspective, but you're right though. When you think that you know somebody so well and you so close to them, you accept certain things. You be like, nah, they wouldn't do that. But people on the outside looking in, and I ain't saying that always your friends is your best friends. They're gonna tell you the best information. But lots of times you can't see that. That's the reason why we can have this conversation. That's the reason why I can say it, because I can see that, and it seemed like he don't.
I'm telling you, judge people by what they do, not by what they say. And so it's right now, at this point right now, I mean, he's committed to it because on paper, they look great. I mean, just think about it. On paper, they look great. You know, I mean, she's Miss Betty Crocker. She's doing cookbooks. By 2015, just understand the reason
she was the model citizen.
Right, but the reason why they're not everybody not all as men, everybody just assumes as men we just trying to lay up with everything we can. No, as men we seek stability. Right. I mean, you got some dudes out here and all they want to do is roam the streets and whatnot, but Steph doesn't want to do that. He's never wanted to do that. He's been that's confidence in yourself as a man, is being able to look at Ronnie Rose and be like, pass. That's confidence as a man. Mm-hmm. And so he's got that. So he's got a stable home life while these other dudes are sitting up here with their women wilding out, or the fellas are wilding out, or whatever, and all that chaos. Steph has never had that issue. But the problem is, in the situation he's in now, you got a woman who's like, okay, you've got me secured, but I don't really have respect for any of this. I've got this life, but I don't have respect for it. I don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
I feel entitled. I've known you since high school. And she now when something is a given, it can be taken for granted. She's taken her position for granted, and now she's like, well, familiarity breeds contempt. And I'm just saying right now, the way that she is displaying herself in public now, the way she is acting in public now, and then you got him taking pictures as if he's going to stall the inevitable. This doesn't say anything except where your teammates at. That's the only thing these pictures say.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you have the last word.
And I mean, that was one I think one other point that I can't remember right now, because like I said, I've been on hold for a minute. But I was thinking about the whole conversations. I've been here since you started broadcasting. When you said about Steph not looking at Ronnie Rose and giving off no signals or nothing, but let that dynamic be changed, and Aisha probably would most likely give him a little call sign, let him know I see you, stuff like that, to where it just to me, I don't like the narrative where us brothers, we gotta seem like we gotta soften ourselves in order to be in the public eye, or to, be with black women these days or something like that, in order for them to, feel like they want to conform, or they want to be with us. Like, I don't like that role reversal thing, and these images that I keep seeing on the day to day, and these stuff that men is doing, black men especially, it bothers me a little bit, because, I don't want my young brothers to come up thinking that they got to do these type of things in order to gain some sort of validity or something with a woman, when it's not supposed to be like that. This is some new era, new wave type stuff that's going on, and I don't agree with it.
Well, definitely, like I said, there's answers to this. I want to deal with the chat room question here. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. To the fellas out there, the fella in the chat room here, Mr. Baldwin asked a very good question we might as well go ahead and get to here, which is, well, what can Steph do to punish this? What can he do to make it very clear, hey, this is not acceptable? First thing is, Stephen is going to have to see the value in himself. He's going to have to get back to where he was. Well, Jason, what do you mean back to where he was? Because when y'all go back to his pictures, I did this on the previous program that I did about them, if you wasn't looking at it before. When you go back through his Instagram, it shows you when you bossed up. It shows you when you have that. And when Steph is bossing, things were different. When you take a look at them from just a couple of years ago, her body language and everything else was radically different. The way she was acting was different. She wasn't acting like you was lucky to be around her. She was acting like she was lucky to be around you, and that's where it's supposed to be. Take a look at that. Yeah, when she's lucky to be there, when she's fortunate to be there, big ass difference. There's a big difference, dude. You're losing it. On his page, he's telling himself he's got it like that. It's like, dude, nah, situation, the thing done changed. The thing done changed. She's literally looking up at him. Literally. literally looking up at him. 2019. 2019. No, it wasn't always like this. No, it wasn't. It was different. You know why? Because she wasn't complacent and she didn't take her position for granted. Back then, it was more apparent that he was more concerned about getting a championship and more concerned about making moves. And she wasn't the most important thing. So she understood, I better mind my damn manners because I'm not the most important thing. Him and his development and his career and what he's building, that's the most important thing. And if I wish to be a part of it, I better stay on my P's and Q's. So yes, you can see over time she has gotten more arrogant and more entitled because he has given her a status. I keep saying this to you all. Take a look at this. This ain't nothing like Russell Wilson and Ciara. It ain't nothing like that. Oh yeah, by the way, she looks a little chunkier here too, doesn't she? August 2019. Take a look at her. Yeah, she's a little. Back then, she hadn't yet gotten to a point where she felt she could fit a bikini properly. Hadn't sent her to Dr. Miami just yet. The further back you go, the more you can see she feels entitled to. She feels lucky to be there, not entitled. I did this before and whatnot. We can go back for a few years. Look at her. When she was the mom at the game, yeah, I'm just lucky to be here. Everybody else has to pay. I got a right to be here. Oh, yeah. And the bigger she was, the more grateful and less arrogant she was. Take a look at that. Just that one thing right there. You talk about body language. And by the way, when he's wearing the shades, he's a little bit of a square dude. But he's like, hey, I'm Mr. Cool. Yeah, I got this. Body language. That arm says everything. That's body language. That arm says it all. There's a bunch of pictures of them with her holding him like that. That tells you something. Not going to do this all night here, but, if you go back through his Instagram, you'll find more and more pictures like that with him and her as you go on. It wasn't accidental. The jet picture, there was another one where they were getting on the plane and whatnot, and she was so lucky to be there and whatnot. And, yeah, there's a reason for that, dude. What are you doing, Aisha? All right. She's wilding out again. It's not me making it up. So the first thing is he needs to sit her down and let her know, first of all, you're about to lose your name. You keep doing this, you're going to lose your name. You carry my name. I can change that. I'm talking about socially. You can change that without ever divorcing her by making it clear in public that she's lost her status. Where if you start giving cues to people that she's been demoted, that she ain't got the same status she did. Why do we need to pay attention to Aisha anymore, baby? Without your husband, you're not noteworthy without him. It's not like you got a bunch of stuff on your own. You're not noteworthy without him. First thing you let her know is, hey, I'm going to start distancing myself. You keep this up. She wants to challenge that, then you physically distance yourself. She's going to start paying for things on her own. But you got to be willing to pull the trigger on that. You got to be willing to let her know. You don't just drop it on day one, but you let her know it's like, hey, I'm not cool on this, and this is exactly what's wrong, and I'm going to start pulling cards on this. I'm going to start pulling cards. And with that being the situation there, you have to understand as men, there's no way that other men are going to be able to respect you. And this is the situation that they're looking at here, man. There's no way they can respect you under these circumstances. You can't have your woman sitting up here so clearly telegraphing that she is hoping to get attention from other people. She's supposed to be fighting to get your attention. She's already got it. You want that street life? Go over there. You're going to have some folks sit up here and try to tell you, oh, they ain't right, and oh, let them be, and this, that, and the other. Okay, you listen to them if you want to. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. She's got the life those other women are trying to get. Now she's going to cash that in so she can have the life that they got. Nobody's trying to get over there to stay. But fellas, understand who made the real mistake here. Stefan made the real mistake. Indulging it. Seeing what's so obviously going on and thinking that you can appease that. Fellas, do not do that. You can't try it. It doesn't work. People will tell you it can work. It can't. The cost of ignoring her disrespect is that it actually accelerates it. We also know that just because you have an alpha male income doesn't mean you have an alpha male mentality. If you are new here to the program, I'd like to welcome you to The Business. We are the program that has laid the foundation upon which all of these other imitators and copycats have stolen everything that they've gotten from. They go back to their pages and mess it up. Here's where you get it raw, uncut, and straight and direct, unfiltered and uncorrupted. If you haven't clicked that red subscribe button, you want to go ahead and do so now and click that yellow notification bell. YouTube does have us under a shadow ban. We understand that, but by you at least subscribing, it gives us an idea of what our reach is so that people can see, hey, this isn't some page that's only got 500 people watching. We have tens of thousands. We do it better than anybody else does, so make sure you keep up with that. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will handle